Yeah.
Now we're going live. So.
Just another Tuesday.
There it is, my lads. As they say. Here we go again. Chrome's pretty beast, my dudes.
Who's doing what?
So what's the total part count on that
What?
for the Neo Xeon? Because you're keeping most things built up already without taking it apart, right?
Sort of. I have it as. Let me count real quick.
132, 133.
Divide by 6. Carry the 1. 20. Trying to test out this little detail piece I'm making, and I'm really not 100% on design. I'm like, ugh. Maybe I didn't really think about the space this is going in.
It's about 65 parts.
Shit.
That's not too terrible.
It's not-
Like an HG right there.
Yeah, the only things that I
Seriously? HGs have 62 parts?
well, it's a
Some of these
SD.
newer ones, yeah.
It's an SD, so there's that.
Yeah, it's like 3 runners, 4 runners. The full armor was like 5, top 6.
Whole lot
It's
of
just like 2
shit.
halves, and then you put the
Yeah.
arms on and everything.
Yeah, super easy.
Super. The problem with having all these things full of things that I'm painting, things full of things. Wow, my words are great today.
You got no space for nothing.
Exactly, I ain't got space for shit. How am I supposed to work on other things?
You gotta use another room.
That's the ultimate question right there.
My dudes.
How am I supposed to build other projects before I finish projects if I have projects in the way of my new projects?
What if all my projects are looking at each other?
Starting new projects. I gave this guy a little skinny shit
Yeah.
legs, little legs.
Little legs.
Look at that guy. Little baby legs.
Yeah, little baby legs. You're a good detective, baby legs. I did like that. That was a good quote. A little Rick and Morty. That was
Don't
good
worry,
for
I'll
the
get him with my regular legs.
soul. Yeah, exactly.
I love how like it's actually
Doesn't
all
he have like
improv.
baby arms or something? Shouldn't the other
No,
guy
he
have
was
baby
regular dude.
He was
He should,
regular.
he should have baby arms then, shouldn't he?
Yeah,
Like
they
baby
should have
legs
baby
guy.
arms.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Kung Fu Masters, right? You know that one with like the dude that has like no legs and the other dude like has no arms, literally, and they combine.
They fuse together, yep.
Yeah, it's so weird. Here, one guy carries the other guy in a backpack. It's so fucked up.
It's all like whoosh, combine.
It's the original
original.
Transformers.
Exactly.
Or
It's the
Voltron.
original Megazord, yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I'll actually scratch build. I'll be scratch building some lower legs for this guy. That
Yeah.
look nice. They go with it, you know. I was gonna take this thing and try and get an HG and like do that whole combined thing, and then I looked at the HG and was like, "This looks like shit. Not good." And then I looked. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll do the MG." And I looked at the MG and I was like, "This looks like the HG." So I decided that, yeah, I decided that I would just like, I was like, you know what? I've got those cross silhouette frames.
Yeah.
Not like the expansion frame, but the original ones that they come with. And then I just like took the legs and the fucking
Waist.
pelvis and the feet off of this, and I combined them into the feet and the waist of that. Yeah, so. There's a will, there's a way.
BB is smaller than SD, right?
BB Senshi SDs are super small. They basically have no legs. It basically has no legs. It's feet plugged directly into the underside of the skirt.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
But the SD Neo Xeon that I'm doing is also a BB Senshi. So
It's not the extreme, or
it's not like the BB XS or whatever the fuck they are. I have one of those too. The Sinanjus that I got to bash with the real grade Sinanju.
yeah.
Which I'm not going to touch another one of these for a long time now.
You He says, but he knows he got a Stein somewhere.
Oh, I know it's not.
Holding it captive.
It's just a Sananju 2.0, bro.
We're just working on this one right now. Look at that skull.
Yeah, I like that.
It turned out pretty good with the last little bit that I did on mechanism the other night. Like the last little bit of like
Detailing.
extra sculpting, a
Yeah,
little bit of sculpting on the side. I added that little extra bit on the top, right above the. Oh, here you go. Right above the brow to like finish that shit out.
Yeah.
Ties it all together with the side. It doesn't look so bad. All right.
I like that.
Got some wire here to use as it's a sculpture armature wire.
Ooh, can do some more sculpting.
Sculpting.
Hell yeah, I got a lot of horns to put on this thing. We're just relaxing tonight, man. As I'm like making progress, I'm trying to do more like just chilling. Because a lot of times when I used to have like a day job, I would
Remember those?
super stress
I remember
out.
those.
Dude, I would stress out over my deadlines, like out of control. And like I work a lot. Like I work a regular 40-hour job normally, but then I would come home.
And you put
like,
more time into shit, yeah.
Dude, not even that. When I was working for the full city, doing molds every night, I was up until like 3 a.m. every day, every night.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Literal every night, like 7 days a week for 4 months.
Dude, that weighs on a person.
And then I would get up at 7 a.m. and go to work. Or like on the weekend, I would get up at 7 a.m. I'd go right back to the bench and I'd start doing stuff again.
So how hard did you crash once you finally finished everything?
Crash. Well, with that one was fucked up too, because like to get it finished, I made a really bad decision when I did my final casting for the part that the piece that I put in the show. I did this like metallization process where you like dust the molds in a metal powder. I use like nickel powder, and then I put nickel itself into the plastic and like resin, and then pour that in.
That swirl and everything.
Not even, it's called cold casting. What it does is it gives you a metal surface, so you can like give it a polish with like a light polish rag and get like a shine on it. It literally puts metal on the surface of the plastic.
So it's like plating it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's called cold casting is the technique, and they do it for like, you know, embellishment, architectural stuff. It's like a crafty sort of thing that people do.
Much like the gold leaf thing where you
very much so.
Like, it's gold.
Very much like the gold leaf. And I've actually had friends be like, yo, why don't you gold leaf your stuff? And I was like, anyway.
I don't want to go through that nightmare.
So I cold cast all these parts, these whatever it was, like 100 and something parts for the full city, and I cleaned it up and I started assembling it and everything. And as I'm cleaning it up and cleaning the lines, I'm realizing that like I can't sand the plastic because it has metal in it. So it made
the plastic stronger.
I made it so strong, man. And then all the cleanup work done on it, and then what also it made it not want to stick to the paint. So
because now you have a metal edge.
Exactly.
Metal surface.
Right, you have a flat metal surface that's polished that you're trying to paint on. And so it would pull things off. As I would pull masking tape off, I would get little bits and pieces that would come out. So I'd have to remask and repaint everything. I pulled a 22.5 hour night before GBWC in 2018.
Lord.
22.5 hour day straight through painting, marathon painting to finish the paint and everything like that. And then slept for about 45 minutes and then got up again and went to the event, brought my piece and put it in the show. It was pretty wild.
And then died right there on the floor.
No, I was in a daze though, walking around that convention. Luckily, they started serving beer on the floor that year, so I could go and like drink a little
wake-up juice.
Drink a couple of Heinekens or whatever. They weren't really strong beers or anything, but drink a couple of Heinekens and kind of like take the edge off of life. It was really surreal. But yeah, I sucked. It sucked. That one's
you always wonder like the things we do for our craft, because there are times where you just marathon shit. Like for my Zazubi build, because I was getting close to the end, I didn't do anything as overwhelming as you, but still I was putting a lot of hours in to try to get that painted and finished and staying up throughout the nights. Julio, remember the turn A?
Yeah.
I was up for 24 hours priming and painting that thing and sanding it and cleaning up the prime and repainting it before I got hopped on a plane to go to SCGMC. I was like,
wild.
I know the paint's shit, but bear with me. I've been painting for 24 hours straight. I didn't have a chance to clean up my mistakes.
It came out good, man.
I mean, it wasn't bad. The kit bash itself was pretty good, but the paint job was fucking shit.
Paint was good, man. I liked it.
No, the paint was shit.
Painting
You
is
don't
kind
even
of
lie
like,
to me.
I don't know, man. It can go good ways. It can go bad ways.
Yeah, I mean, if I had more time, it would have been better quality.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
with only 24 hours to hop on a plane and go to California, I had to do what I had to do, and I couldn't leave Julio hanging with the Turn X fellas. I had we have to have the other side of the duo.
It was so good, man. It's such a good. Like if we had a Dio base, people would have pulled that shit together and been like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah. I mean, once we got a chance to explain it to people, they got it. It made sense. But most people were like, "Oh man, that Turn X is badass." Oh look, there's a Turn A here.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. We should have just entered separately. You got your own shine.
No, that was fine. People like the cow.
Shit, man.
People like the cow. My job was done. No, I wasn't gonna get any shine. Like that paint job was ferocious.
It was not. It wasn't that bad, dude.
Dude, there are mark lines from me not masking properly, and I'm like, fuck, I should have done that a little better. It's like I was half awake. I don't fucking know what I was doing.
My Fox Salad came out okay. I think it came out all right.
Wait, what?
My Fox Salad came out all right.
Oh, yours was much better than mine.
Came out all right. Came out good.
Yeah. You did a really good job with that. And considering it's our first time doing something like that, I think
I think we killed it.
It's fun as fuck too, though.
Merge universes. More people got to do it. You should do it, Brian.
Do what?
Take two suits from two different universes and smash them together.
Okay.
It's like, I make future bot Tulio. What are you talking about?
It's like, I already do that. I match anime universe with the real universe.
I've done video games with anime. I've done. I haven't done like. What do you mean by like? I don't know. What about the Flea?
The Flea is just a clash of minds. It's not even like universes anymore. It's like mind, intellect.
He's like, I'm just gonna smash up a bot I think could fight Akira.
It's like I think, therefore I am in the build.
You mean Tetsuo because
no, the original Akira.
Original Akira.
Yeah, the little boy fucking blowing up Japan.
Going hard. He was like, I'm gonna make a Tachikoma that fight it.
Oh, so now we're going Ghost in the Shell as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised the fleet didn't go invisible.
No. Remember, America said that it's called a spider tank.
Spider tank.
Oh, my bad. No, I thought the larger one was supposed to be the spider tank.
Kill me now.
Not the little guys.
Tachikomas. Motoko.
Motoko. God,
Mitsubishi.
Shut up.
It's like, sorry. What was that? The one shit. The one scary movie where they were making fun of the Grudge. Mitsubishi, Yamaha, Takoto.
Bill says yes. Combine a zoot suit and a blue jeans suit, so a Canadian tuxedo
with the hat, with the denim hat. Oh man, zoot suit hat. Yeah, that'd be dope.
I read that differently. I had Half-Life on the mind, so I was like, Combine? I know Combine.
Easy there.
Yeah, calm down, bro. Wait till they say Half-Life 3 and then get hype.
Half-Life 3 confirmed. So, without spoiling anything, this is a year of time travel when it comes to video games.
Okay. What year 2020 is?
What?
This year or like, I don't know what you mean.
Like
Like
2020, most of the prominent video games that have come
time
out
travel?
have involved time travel. So this is the year of time travel.
It's because Avengers Endgame was so hype.
Sure,
I mean,
I could see that.
they've been doing that for a while in comic books, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, in comic books, but not in video games. Like,
Uh,
in it being so close in how the stories, like, again, without spoiling anything,
you're spoiling it.
I want to really talk about it. I don't. I'm not gonna lie.
We can have a separate discussion, Kyle, when I beat the game.
Well, no, it's not even like Final Fantasy VII discussion. Like, it is
What up, Bill?
another game that you don't want to ruin for yourself discussion.
Okay. Yo, shut up, Kyle.
I've said too much.
Yo, can they just say we're making a Dark Souls 4? I'll play that Dark Souls.
You know what a great game is? Is Dark Souls 3, right, Julio?
Yeah, Dark Souls 3 is pretty good.
You know what, man? We're right about back to where you are with your first playthrough. We were doing the other day.
Did you finish off a playthrough with the other guys already?
No, we haven't. We're up to the Twin Princes. All three of us are up to the Twin Princes with that playthrough.
I fucking hate that fight.
We are so far. That's easy with all the bros, dude. Come on.
With the bros, it's super easy, but
Dude, we just squat up.
that's a crazy fight. The Twin Princes? What?
We've been having a lot of fun, especially with the new one. Dan's like, I really enjoyed this strength build. And I was like, yeah, Dan, why do you think I always play with the strength build? But I'm doing good with my Miracle Man. Ronan, the Accuser.
Yeah. You're going to go all dark magic, right?
Fuck yes. Dark magic, dark pyromancies.
I have no clue what you guys
Dark
are talking
pyromancy is pretty cool.
Dark Souls, Kyle.
Well, yeah, I know Dark Souls. I've never
sure.
played any of them. I've been meaning to play, and
It's so fun.
I don't know.
What
I get
console are
distracted.
you
It is
on,
actually.
Kyle?
I know. I gotta get my shit together.
You got an Xbox, Kyle?
No, I
you
don't. I have a
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
He's a PS boy.
I am a PS boy.
He's a piss
Plays-
boy.
Xbox had its chance. I've owned all of the Xboxes at any given point, and it had its chance to keep me until it fucked it up with the Xbox One, and I lost. I was like, nope, I don't want to play with it anymore.
Aw, what did the Xbox One do to hurt you so?
Everything. So did I tell you what issues I ran into with mine when I had
I
it?
have no idea. No.
Okay, so you know I got the Ring of Death nonsense.
Sure, that was 360 era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that for once.
No, they had. I think they had something different.
Okay.
So what would happen is the Xbox One would just magically turn itself off for no reason. And then I would turn it back on, and then maybe it would run for like 20 minutes and then turn itself off again. And this was like a perpetual thing. And so I was like, okay, I'd give it a day or two, get back to it, and then it'd have no problems. I'd play for 3 or 4 months, and then it would do it again. And
Huh.
it was just, I couldn't figure out what it was, so I looked it up, and then they're like, "Oh, replace your adapter, your AC adapter." So I
they
replaced
told you
that,
it was really
and it seemed
poltergeist.
like it fixed it. And then about a month later, it did it again, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And it had no like, yeah, heavy arms. It had no rhyme or reason behind it either, so I couldn't figure out why it was doing it because there were too many variables. There was no, commonality. So I'm like, why the fuck is this doing this? It's like my PlayStation never did it, so I'm going back to PlayStation.
PlayStation never had.
You know why?
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Japanese poltergeist.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, American.
Exactly. They're like, I will only accept your Japanese gaming systems.
You Bill Gates loving motherfucker.
Exactly. It's like when you try and talk to someone from Russia and they don't really like know what's going on, but they're very angry about what's going on, and they're like,
Yeah, they're like, I don't like the state of this country. What's wrong? I don't know.
fuck, not fucking hack, man. Like, what? Buy my model. Like, what you want? Buy what? Dude, chill, relax, just calm down.
Chill, brother, chill.
Please.
So I haven't
Xbox
gone
Ones
back
are Blu-ray.
because of it. What?
Xbox Ones are all Blu-ray.
All Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
but
you have a 4K TV?
no. What kind of money you think I make?
Them things are like $100 right now, dude.
Exactly. What kind of money you think I make? We're in a fucking economical downtrend. You think I got money?
I was like, I got a baby to pay for. What the
No.
fuck?
So I thought about getting the.
bro.
Have you
I
seen
was-
her? She's shit. No.
I was looking at eBay at probably getting the Hazel whatever one of the fancier hazels. So I got little weapons and shit. And I was like,
you
I
wanna
wonder
get
how much
the,
that is. $83. I'm like, yeah, that's too rich for my blood today.
Yikes. Which hazel were you what, a master grade, or were you trying to get?
No, it was that high grade, but it was like the fancier one, like the raw
From the
or
hazel,
whatever.
not the raw, not the flay.
I don't. It's got a weird name.
Cool.
It's not necessarily like hazel. It doesn't even look like the hazel or the wormwood or any of the other ones.
Oh, okay.
It's like the fancier, newer one or something.
Right. There's one that's coming out on Peebo.
Ooh.
That shouldn't be that bad, at least.
No, some of them have been pricey. Like the last one I bought, do I have it sitting around here? Either way, I bought it for like $43, which was a steal on eBay at the time because it was going for more. Yeah, so it was like the Gundam TR6 Hazel 2. And it's got like the fancy things, but it's like the newer ones was the one I was looking at, the one that came in after that one.
Hey, Babs.
Yeah, probably the Hazel Thiele.
Here we go, Hazenflay.
I think it's the one after that one, Paul.
Hazenflay. So the one that I have reserved is the Haze *N space Flay.
Yeah.
Which is coming out on Peebo. Our good friend Alex out in South Korea has got me hooked up on
There's
that one.
another one too, and I think the other one I was looking at was that one. It's not necessarily the Hazen it's I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up later. But it was like it's the newest one I want to say of the Hazel renditions that they've been kicking out lately. And I looked at that. I was like, $83. I was like, never mind.
Hazenflay.
Hazala.
He's trying to get you to cast a spell. Fucking Harry Potter motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Watch out. Watch him, he's crafty.
A roll the Medora, whatever fucking Hermione says. Wait, you gotta say Hermione.
Hermione?
You can't call her Hermione. Hermione.
What spell is she trying to cast?
Hello, Medora.
Hello, Amora.
Yeah.
Hello, Amora.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my dog.
Any sort of languages, including English.
Hello, right on, gal.
Took 3 years of French and I couldn't say anything.
Make sure you go to Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley? Okay. That's where I get my wand.
Go diagonally.
Speaking of which. Here.
She's just riding around on a train.
I went to Olive Lador's and got my wand. It's fucking from Universal. We went many years ago for Amy's birthday. Hello, Ladora.
No, we're geeks.
Adelante Flintplay. I think
we're geeks, bro, but I don't know.
So Amy I think we got our wands based on our birthday.
Ew.
Or maybe, I don't remember which one. One of us had the fancier wand.
Amy probably.
That literally like talks to the things at Diagon Alley. So if you like go to
Your Monsters Book of Monsters is very varied.
it's
That's
a fancy wand you got there.
So I got this it's very dirty.
Yeah.
You know, Brian, there's geeks.
Yeah. Look at that feather oak with the griffin claw at the end. Oh man, it's such elegant wand.
This one is
I don't have a wand. I'm sorry.
Here you go. I'll give you a wand.
9632. Oh, whatever the fuck that means.
Oh yeah, so we got I think we got 2 different wands. One that doesn't talk to the things. And then one that talks to things, because we're like, we don't have that kind of money to buy 2 talking wands, so we're just gonna share the one that does.
Like the ones that you go through the Universal Studio. And you can
and like you can do the different attractions and see what they do by
saying
the spell.
You can like make the dragon cast fire, blow fire, and shit like that, right?
And swiping
so
the wand.
This is not that. This is just super nerd.
Oh, we lost him. He cast a spell. So I guess my wife got Hermione's wand.
This is 11 inches holly feather phoenix. Holly feather phoenix core. I don't fucking know what that is.
You should know, Brian. You should know.
I don't know what that means.
How dare you?
Is it Phoenix feathers?
Yeah. Is it got
It's a
the Phoenix
feather
down?
made of holly,
Phoenix
it's
down
11
on it?
inches long.
Is that Colleen's wand?
It is Colleen's wand. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know shit from my asshole about this stuff. It's all Colleen's. Come on. I'll show you my Dark Souls stuff.
So, here's this big ass sword I got here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Made.
There you go.
Huge. Yeah. How
That's
you made an
Hey.
essence, dude?
Potion?
That's dope.
I got this with the collector's edition of the fucking player's guide for Dark Souls 3, which came with a special collector's edition box to hold the rest of your special collector's edition books in, which is tight.
It's got all this extra shit.
Because I have all of the extra special collector's edition books. Because I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Add it to your library.
Lest I break it.
I feel that, Brian. I do.
I had fun at Harry Potter Land, and
Yeah, it seems real cool, man.
Bill's like, I call my wand a beam saber.
Good, I like that.
It must make going to the bathroom a troublesome moment. Like, damn it, I cut my toilet in half again. Fuck.
I gotta call the plumber.
It's like, all right, Greg, come fix my toilet again. Again?
Yeah. You know what that dick do.
What'd that dick do? I'm really starting to hate my 2mm chisel.
Why?
It's not chiseling well enough. I feel like I do a better job pushing than pulling.
Is it getting dull?
No, I shouldn't. I don't use it that much. I don't know. It has a habit of wanting to wander on me, too, even with a guide. So it's kind of problematic. I don't get the same issues with my other chisels.
BMC, MadWorks.
Yeah, BMC.
Pad's wand is bigger than that.
Yeah, he puts a growth spell on it. Elongo Dicko. Saying spells in Harry Potter Land is like trying to speak Spanish. Just put
girth.
It's all about the spells you cast.
You little bitches are girthy.
It's not about the length of your wand. It's about the spells you cast.
How thick are your spells?
How powerful are those spells, Harry Potter? You gonna put a curse on me?
Shit. Yeah, I think I want to get another heavy arms and do like a Guyver build.
A what?
Guyver?
A Guyver?
Yeah, you know Guyver, right? Tell me you know.
Oh, Diver. Okay, I was like
Guyver.
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 Kyber? Miver? Diver?
Guyver.
Miver?
I hate you, Kyle.
Tomato?
Yeah. I'm going to do a Silverhawks.
Looks like we're going to the plastic. Never mind. All right. Change of plans.
Do like a chest buster.
What's that?
Chest buster.
Yeah, so I wanted to dig a trench in here for the piece that I'm putting on there, but it looks like I'm just breaking through the plastic. So I'm just going to do that instead.
No, all right.
It doesn't have to be that deep, so I don't care.
Doesn't have to.
No, it works.
You're right.
A weird sound.
I would need a whole different set of shoulders to mix with the Barbados. I got a really cool idea, Kyle. But I don't know if I want to keep the Wing Zero.
You don't know if you want to do what?
If I want to do the Proto Zero with the Rex. Like, it's two really good ideas I have. But
So here's the thing. You can change your base builds if you want.
What up, Edward?
That's kind of always been a prerequisite that if you don't agree with the two models you pick, you can change that.
You're right. You're right. As long as it's within the universe.
Because I don't want you to have to commit to a build you're not going to enjoy building. That's not the point of the collab. The collab is to enjoy this shit.
I want to build both of them. I think they'd both be dope.
Oh, I got 2 against 1. That ain't fair. How about you get 1 kit first before you think about building 2?
I got 1. If I can mix this with the barb, it'd be dope. But then add the stuff from the Proto Zero.
That's fine.
Maybe.
Sorry, you're gonna need more than 2 kits to compete with old Monster Hand over here.
Yeah, he's got a big hand.
Baby powder on this shit.
That's a big hand, dude.
Get some. Hey. I got a horseman right here, Pavolante.
I should be working on my horseman. I don't want to think about
He
it.
had so many Pabs, he turned into this Pavolante. I don't know if you guys seen One Punch Man, but I'm saying.
Pab squared.
Pab squared, exactly. Pab Infinity.
I got
Pabfinity.
I'm working on a little detail for the horseman, mind you.
Look at that thing. Look at that. Would you look at it, Pab?
Look at this.
I added so much more plastic.
Look at it.
It's fucking heavy.
Oh, okay. Since we're talking about our horsemen, since many of the internet has not seen
Many of the
with
internet.
my horsemen.
You.
Yeah, I added some cables. Haha. Mind you, they're not just going to arbitrarily be hanging out here.
He's got one of those bucket hats from.
They're going to tie into the. Oh, yeah, never mind the hat. Here. That's a work in progress. Yeah, so I'm going to have these cables go into the back of his head.
Oh, dude, the cables are tight.
Oh, and then
I'm making 90s.
this shoulder I made while you guys were getting shit-faced on Friday. I'm actually quite proud of this because I didn't think this was going to turn out the way it did.
Shit-faced.
That was great, man.
I pulled a page out of Tim's book and did something awesome.
Nah.
Yeah. I feel like a GBWC winner now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Feel like one?
Yeah, but feeling like one and being one are 2 different things.
What would you do if you had one?
I have my trophy. You guys didn't see it?
What would you do if you had
right there behind me. I would go to Chinatown and I would sit down on the ground and cry.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
Plot twist, guys.
Wow.
And then I would stand up and triumphantly raise my trophy above my head right when the picture gets taken.
Oh, give me a second. You had me there. It was good.
Yeah.
Well done. Well
Yo,
done.
Bill, I been working on this thing for weeks. I took a break, bruh.
Bruh.
Those were not trophies, Tim. They were a bunch of stickers.
I got some stickers coming, dudes.
What?
Yeah.
I want some.
Hey, Tim, you're in trouble with B, by the way.
Oh, Tim. Hey, Tim, what up?
Tim is in trouble.
Oh, why is Tim in trouble with B?
Because he sent me stickers and not B.
Oh, hell.
Hell to the nah. I don't know, Tim. I didn't get large stickers. I'm a little disappointed.
Oh, he gave you the big ones?
No, these are good stickers. I'm not going to argue. I
bet it was fucking Carol Baskins.
Goddamn Carol Baskins. That bitch Carol Baskins. That's why it took so long to get to me.
Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins was trying to intercept my mail.
Man, I feel bad for you guys when Tim and I get a tear and go on some weird voice tangent together. I really feel for you all.
Clicking right out.
It's going to happen one of these days.
It's going to happen this Friday?
I don't know.
When we do Drunken DMC?
I literally get to the point where my wife wants to kill me.
She's like, okay, I know we're quarantined, but I'm leaving.
I get it.
Forever.
She's like, no, I get it, Ralph. I didn't think it was funny. Little honeymooners for you there.
What was his friend's name? Damn, I forgot. Ed?
Such an unusual name. How could you forget it?
Was it Ed? I really don't remember.
I don't fucking know. I haven't seen that shit. I'm making models. What are you talking about?
You ever watched the honeymoon?
Wait, what are we talking about here?
I will say though, what I did watch was I watched the Lego Masters that you recommended.
You finally watched it?
I did. I watched it.
How'd you like it?
I thought it was okay.
Or did you not like it? Shouldn't assume you liked it.
No, I thought it was fine. I mean, Will Arnett is Will Arnett, but I thought it was good for what it's worth.
Yeah, so you get what I was saying last time, where it's like they're making fun of reality shows rather than like, yeah, we're gonna play the thing and no one's gonna know.
I mean, yeah, it's not all super dramatic. It's like, come on, dude, you're fucking building bricks and you're making cool shit. It's an art reality show, or like a whatever you want to call it. It's not really reality. I mean, it is reality, but
It's a competition.
Competition, right? It's like a cooking show. So Great British Bake Off for Lego nerds in America. Very small step for a very cool thing.
I was a little disappointed they didn't have the wee, the dramatic whine they always do in all these shows. I was like, I need my dramatic whine. How else am I going to know there's suspense occurring?
I am good without it. No, I mean, I thought it was good. I thought that the builds were creative. I realized why they went for who they went for when they went for it, because it fit their total mold for what they want to brand as. So that made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was decent.
Okay.
Well, I found it ironic that they almost lost, but because of that whole "we're going to take everyone with us," they ended up winning and taking it all. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. See, the thing about that is, they didn't.
It was planned.
That's all manufactured. That shit's all manufactured. As soon as they were expecting, it was in the bucket.
Well, I like how convenient that is. Oh, we're doing builds for kids? How convenient, because we're having a kid of our own. Like, what? You guys didn't say this shit at all when you guys were first getting computers.
We're not having but one child. We are having twins.
And then the next episode, turns out we're having quadruplets. So
that was Jesus, what is it, compounds? And the next thing oh no, their season's been extended. Like,
so Apu's wife, we're having octuplets too.
Fertility doctors now.
Yeah. We couldn't have any kids. Now we're having all the kids.
Now we're having all the kids. We're having your kids.
Thanks, souped up eggs.
No mas.
My wife liked Lego Masters. Yeah, it was alright. A show about fucking Legos. Kill me now. They tried to ramp the drama up a little. Yeah, they did. It's good TV.
It's the nature of the beast.
Good TV.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't say it was bad drama though.
Yeah.
Tim. Come on, Tim.
Tim, you build Gunpla.
Yeah, dude.
Don't act like you're above Legos.
Is Tim going to say that he doesn't build with Lego?
He doesn't build Legos.
I think he has a seated past with Legos. It's like, my mom wouldn't buy me the Millennium Falcon Lego kit in Christmas of 1978, so now I hate Legos.
Well, okay.
He stepped on one.
Tim wasn't around for Christmas of 1978. Two, they didn't start making Lego kits until 1999.
All right, fine. Stop. You're ruining the joke, Brian.
Bitch ass Legos.
Yeah, he was upset they didn't have a Lego kit for it.
Fucking Mav.
He's like, why do the Swedes not have Lego kits for this awesome sci-fi show movie that I'm watching as a kid?
Legos were wood in his time.
He's like, the Lego blocks of my generation used to give me splinters. That's why I hate Lego.
He had Lincoln Logs.
So originally, the company that made Lego also made wooden building bricks.
What?
They made a lot of toys.
Yeah, it was only post-war technology that got them into doing things out of plastic, and then they came up with the original patent, which I have a copy of. If you guys want to take a look at it, because I like me some Lego, and I also have a couple of T-shirts with it on it. And and then they that was the innovation of it was originally the studs on top, the collection inside, and the thing that was the defining factor was that little tube that sticks down on the inside of the Lego that creates the solid connecting point. A lot of other building bricks that were made didn't have that and haven't been able to do that because of the patent that they've held on that for so long. Now that being said, that patent is actually running out. So that is not going to be a thing that they have at their disposal anymore, and it's been something that's been in their mind over the last decade as they've been building their brand back up. Because there was a grand decline of Legos, you guys probably know about. I don't know.
There was?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was a huge. post 90s crash. After the first Star Wars kick, like the Star Wars kick was like the thing that really tried to pull him back in, and it was really the only thing that.
Because I remember they were like just growing up, they were always kicking out chicks. I was a
Dude, they were
huge
popping
Lego kid.
hot through all of the 80s, all of the early 90s until you got to the end of the 90s, and then it changed. Their like marketing changed, and they tried
For
to do
the
like
Star Wars stuff.
Not even before they did the Star Wars stuff, they tried to do like weird girl Legos. There was a bunch of weird pink shit, and it was dumb stuff that didn't make sense. It was a lot of one-off parts that you couldn't repurpose into other parts. It was a lot of weird clear stuff
Legos.
and yeah, like weird Malibu crap. It was really, really dumb. They were just trying to like bite on that late 90s like marketing vibe that everybody was pushing so freaking hard. So obviously they fell into the trap trying to, market with all these things. And they changed their styles, and as they did that, they started to see that their market declined because there wasn't the point where they started other lines where they didn't have the regular minifigs. They had like a larger style figure, which was like these totally different, more stylized. Again, I
remember those ones. This was like before Bionicle, right?
Yes,
like weirdly proportioned humanoid figures.
If you talk to the Bionicle crew, they're like really, really cultish and bizarre. But like, so that made the production cost skyrocket and then dropped the selling cost because they weren't able to reduce them. The whole idea behind Lego was you were supposed to be able to buy a box of nothing and make everything out of it.
Yeah,
right?
simple shapes that could be used in a complex.
Something. You could make that something, and they showed you images on the boxes. You could make like all of this other shit. And it was like, you can do all of this, like do whatever you want. Like, come on, kids, have fun. But
I remember my first Lego kit was a pirate ship. It was fun.
Oh yeah, which one? The Black Seas Barracuda. I still have it, almost complete. Actually, I'm missing one sale. Oh wait, no, I bought
it for my birthday or something. It was like, this is so fucking awesome. Before it was just, I had hand-me-down Legos, like the big. What's it called? Like litter box crate of Legos that my brothers had. So I got the hand-me-down, and I would just try to build random shit with it.
Connects.
Is it just me, or when Legos sit in those big old boxes, they start to smell after a couple of years?
I don't know. I don't have any.
It's like
maybe something else got into my Lego box other than Legos.
You ever fuck with Lego?
I don't have any Legos. No.
Have you ever fucked with Lego though? Have you ever played with Lego?
Yeah, here and there, but nothing like serious.
Julio, I have millions of Lego. They're all in storage. It's almost all entirely storage, aside from the like Star Wars stuff.
Wait, hold on, guys. We have to make an acknowledgement here. You know how Brian is a dedicated fan? He says it right. I have millions of Lego. Even though it's plural, he still calls it Lego because that's the pronoun of the. I'd say I have millions of Legos because I'm a fucking
Lego
chump.
is actually it's like the amalgamation of two Danish words for it to play. So that's what Lego. It's like, so.
I just built some Harry Potter Legos for my son. Fun stuff. They'll be
Legos. I hate my cat. Fuck him. Go take a shit in the Legos.
Uses Legos possessive as a litter box. Legos.
Well, no, what I mean is, like Tidy Cats, how they have the big jugs. The Legos used to come in those square cylinders. Yeah. That's what
I now have a couple of those that are just stuffed full of instruction manuals from all the Lego that I've collected over the years. I got my first kit in 1986. Shit. It is the Black Falcon's Fortress in Knight's Castle, and it was amazing. The next kit that I got was a Space Legos kit that I can't remember exactly. It's the some sort of mining command thing, but I fucking broke a good $20 worth of Lego in 2010 era's rebuying to replace the shit that I broke on that kit, being a little ass kid. I was that kid that would you would go into his room and it was just like the whole floor was just Lego, and there was like some crazy tricopter or military thing. With,
you've got a sign on your door: shoes necessary, shoes required. Whatever. Fuck my toes.
I had little nimbly feet.
Your mom probably hated you. You're like, every time I walk in this fucking house, I step on a Lego.
No, man, horrible. I kept that confined to my room. She was glad that I was alone, working on something quietly. I wasn't getting hurt.
He's in his room. He's minding his business.
He isn't bothering me.
Lego
He hasn't tried to show me another drawing or creation that he's made.
Look, mommy, look what I built. Oh, great. Let's put it on the
Everything
fridge.
just looks like dicks.
Oh, look, I
Big
took
veiny dick.
I took this old cleaver and I took a piece of driftwood from the, or a piece of firewood from the neighbor's fucking wood pile, and I carved a mask on the floor of my room at like 11 o'clock at night once. Like
God.
full on, like, you know, traditional style, like
At least my son's creative. Just like trying to justify it.
right? I'm just down there with like a hatchet and a fucking and a butcher's cleaver, just like.
All right, so I finished this little detail, guys, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Why?
I don't know.
What's wrong with it? It looks like a light switch.
Yeah, he's a turn me on. I don't know. I had this
Wow,
like
you totally
grand
changed the whole
idea that I
thing.
drew up, and I was like, and then I didn't realize the space that I was
You
going to be
were
working
saying-
in.
was
was not-
supermodel, but I didn't think you were going literal. I just thought you were playing. I thought you were funning.
Yeah, funny. I did a funny.
I
did
made
a
a funny.
But you were like, no, for reals though. Here's a switch on my shoulder.
That's how he turns on. That's how the seal's broken. He's like,
Shit.
Armageddon. Here comes the
Blow in his
apocalypse.
ear and he'll follow you anywhere.
Just turn him on. You'll never lose him.
Start me up. Start me up. Start me up.
Oh my goodness.
Let me see it again, Kyle. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, what? I forgot what I was even doing. I was like, okay, moving on.
Make it big, Brian. Make it big.
Just being a jerk, don't mind.
Diddy Mal, Brian. Diddy Mal. All right, ready?
Like, oh my ego.
All right, anyway, I'm gonna glue this piece.
Whoa.
While I'm sitting here waiting, I look like a retard. Let me glue this piece. Gotta fill in some gaps.
Goddamn fools.
Why are you and Edward touching each other's mind, Tim?
They're
Mind
doing
melding over there.
Oh, you guys are touching each other. That's all I fucking know.
doing their mind meld. Vulcan mind meld. So I'm starting these horns, right? Working with this armature. I made it pretty fucking long because, you know, you want to be able to cut it down. You don't want to be able to cut it long because you can't cut it longer, right? What the fuck? So
You can add material. You can cut material, but you can't add material.
exactly. That is the nature of the beast. So I want to know. I'm trying not want to know, but I'm trying to figure out if I want to go like ram's horn style horns.
You don't want to go curly demon horn, where it's kind of like a ram, but a little extension piece kind of goes.
Well, I've got I've got a lot of. We got a lot of space there.
Hmm.
Looks kind of like weird alien antenna because it doesn't have any texture.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it though. I'm really not. So
Well, oh, dude, why don't you go like moon horn, like small one on one side and long one on the other?
wow.
Or a broken horn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think my vision of my death would have a broken horn, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. As my wife said earlier tonight, I'm stepping what you're smelling in.
I'm
That's
tripping
neat.
on what you're flinging.
She meant to say I'm smelling what you're stepping in because that's what I say. But she said I'm stepping what you're
I think it
smelling in.
was, I'm slipping in what you're flinging.
What you smelling in?
Yeah, I love her. She's the best.
I'm seeing what you're doing.
I
I'm
smell
smelling
it.
what you're pooing.
I smell that.
That's why I use the sprays.
Wait. What were you about to say, Bill? But you decided to be nice? I don't get the reference. I don't even know how to give Bill credit for being nice.
You
So now I
can't.
don't feel like it actually happened. He wasn't being nice at all.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you can't. It's okay.
It was a
Well, Bill,
lie.
do me a favor, send me some Omaha steaks.
Omaha steaks. Wow. Omaha.
Like, did you forget what state Bill was in?
He's in Texas, but still, Omaha Steaks is a brand. You can go like huge, crazy antenna.
Get him from Nebraska.
The Lokis look cool. I like the Lokis.
I'm kind of thinking that, but I don't think I'm going to go as long. Right? I'll do look, but tighter. Right?
Yeah. Lokis are cool.
Yep, I think that's the right way. I'm glad that I left the extra length on there because I have a bunch of this armature wire. I was trying to get John Lynn to buy some. It's just like you get it in a coil at the store. It's this like malleable type of aluminum. It basically has a higher lead content, so don't lick your fingers. But basically, you can move
soldering
it more.
iron.
Yeah.
Or soldering.
It's not soldering. No, it's not. It's not as leaded as soldering. Solder for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't use solder. Armature wire is mostly aluminum, but it is more malleable. You can move it around and it won't break. So if you just try to use regular aluminum wire or like coat hanger, or I have coat hangers hanging from my sprinkler bar up above my head. That's why I point over my shoulder when I say that. Or like or any of these other kinds of wire. If it's a steel wire, whatever, you run the risk of it breaking from flexing it too much. It hardens. What's called work hardening, which is what happens when as you bend metal, what happens is you create friction between the molecules and increases the heat on a molecular level, and it creates a
more malleable.
work.
Yo, don't
you know what work is in a physics sense. It's it becomes power applied by distance equals work.
So what happens is you focus the stress on that one point, it becomes hard, becomes brittle, and then it breaks. And that's why you have
what that is? What you're doing is you're moving from plasticity. So plasticity is what makes a metal or material malleable. And then from there you get into my teacher's gonna kill me for this. You get to a certain point where it no longer has the ability plasticity is where it no longer has the ability to get back to its original state. You've now demorphed it from beyond the.
Yeah, that's what they say, plastically deform. When you plastically deform something, you take it from its original form and you move it to a new position.
Well, there's a chart. There's a chart for this. So what it is you get to the yield, and if you go past that, you're now in the form of plasticity. So now you're changing its original state, so it can never go back to. And each material has its own chart, and some are more brittle. Brittle materials don't have plasticity because they just go straight to tensile and then break. They don't have a plasticity state. Well, I don't know. It's been years since I've done the thing for materials. Materials testing is what I did when I went to college, and we learned about the crystalline structure of materials and all this other shit, and that chart that talks about yield strength and tensile strength, and then the breaking point and all that.
I learned about all that stuff through blacksmithing. But
you're going to learn that there because you use it.
Physics.
Yeah, that blacksmithing, and then just on the job metalworking myself.
They suck. They're bad steaks.
I wish that I had taken class.
I've never had. I was just fucking around.
We know what we're talking about, Edward. Dude, Edward is my kind of guy.
They really do suck though. Like they're shitty Omaha steaks.
What do you expect? You get them from a freezer truck that's been on the road for 7 days.
Only 3 times as good as Trump steaks. So.
I never had one of those, but they just
have to use Trump bucks to buy Trump steaks.
I understand the Trump steaks are sawdust and cuneiform.
Yeah.
Oh God, that doesn't sound appetizing at all.
Yeah.
Cuneiform is an ancient text from the Sumerian.
It cost you 10 Trump bucks for a Trump steak.
Oh my God! It costs you 100 soul points.
No potion to heal you from this.
No sir.
Brian, remember when I lost 35,000 souls to a text that said, "Oh, kitty"?
Yes, I remember distinctly when you lost 35,000 souls to a text that said, "Aw, kitty."
Oh, Brian, you'll love this. Since you're like a book philiac and you also know things about
No, I'm a book philiac. How did you die again, Julio?
I ran into a hole.
Yeah, you ran into a bottomless chasm.
I both love and hate this book.
Ooh.
Steel Construction Manual.
Yeah, the ASC Steel Construction Manual. This is 14th edition. And look, you can see some of my old calculations when I used to cheat sheet. Because my teacher wouldn't let us memorize these complex things. So I was like, there you go. I'm going to write them in the fucking book you let me look at.
There's no problem with reference tabs.
No, that's what they're there for, like notes. So dealing with yield, ultimate load, buckling, all that shit. We used to have to do column design and everything. Yeah, so I hate and love this book. Got all my little sticky notes, so I know where all the calculations are. This thing's a fucking...
A book that I have that I hate and I love, but I never touch it because I hate it so much more than I love it. Is this book right here.
SolidWorks Bible.
It is literally...
I still have my CAD book that I had from my freshman year when we had to learn about AutoCAD. I'm like, why do we have this book? We're not even following along with it.
I think this is the last year that they published this book. It's really versatile, but Jesus God, is it dry.
SolidWorks is OD.
It's like, I remember when I first heard about SolidWorks, and like, you can explode your builds and see all the different parts that are involved. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
You're making an assembly, yeah. It's awesome. Here's a book that I have only referenced a few times to people, but I can't tell you enough to go and get this book.
Modern Design and Blueprinting Handbook.
This book is a really, really good book if you're trying to make things that you know what they are. What the fuck is this? But you want to make them into a scale. So it's for scaling stuff mostly.
Oh, okay. See, so I hear this constantly from those who do digital design into 3D printing and such. And they're always like, oh, scaling is the hardest thing. And I find that hard to believe. Now, given I come from the drafting world for construction, we set the scale when we first start the drawings, but we don't print this to the real world. So it is what it is digitally, and it prints that way because we have, required sheet sizes that match scale. So
exactly, yeah,
it's consistent in that regard. But I've always kind of wondered with 3D printing, I'm like, well, and obviously I'm coming from a misconstrued understanding that it seems fairly easy. So I'm like, well, how can you not set scale already before printing when you got such modern capabilities and technology? That should be the easiest thing to solve.
I mean,
blueprinting basics, standard practice.
Chapter 2, baby. The same shit you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't do it myself, so I have no first-hand experience. So I'm coming off of my experience with scaling, and again, it doesn't translate to 3D printing something, but I feel like scaling's doable though. After you get the system down, but it's again misconstrued understanding.
Having done a fair amount of scaling myself to make one-to-one, I got this when I was making props. So when I was doing my one-to-one scale drawings, exactly, for the big things. Yeah, this was huge for learning isometrics and then like finding a good way to take a photograph of something or to approach an image of something to replicate it in a flat pattern style, which is what everything basically, if you build anything, it comes to you in a flat pattern, like a drawing, right? Kyle, you're familiar with drawing.
The blueprint and all that.
Yeah, as a fabricator, you're going to get something that's going to have, potentially it's going to be a pile of drawings. The first drawing is going to have some sort of semi-rendered isometric drawing, which is a 3/4 view from the top usually down, or a few different drawings. And then there's going to be different explosions of that, where you have like the various different components in flat pattern form and the different angles and all this stuff is all, and there's a whole science to that. That's what Kyle's talking about for the standards and everything, why they can just produce something at scale and why scaling is so different. When it comes to the 3D printing thing, there's a whole other realm to that, right? Because when you're designing something and to be 3D printed, you're dealing with all of the internal structures inside of it to make sure that it's strong, as well as what the surface is.
Yeah.
And the relationship between those two things, as well as dealing with the medium that you're trying to use, the scale which you're trying to use, and then you're trying to incorporate it to anything else like that. So it's actually incredibly freaking complicated, which is why like guys like me, and I assume Tim also, I can't speak for him specifically, but try like scratch building, because you just, it's real, it's right there. There's none of this other shit that you have
to do all your measurements in a 2D, 3D kind of scope, so you're only doing X and Y. Is like I made this square, I already know its thickness, so the Y or the Z is already figured out, so I just know length and width, and then you build
and
the square
that also comes
gradually.
Like if you're like machining a product or not a product, but a widget or a component or something like that. If you're doing machining reductive tooling, something like that, whether it be on a lathe or a multi-axis machining tool or by hand, like all of those things.
CNC and all that.
Yeah, I guess maybe I misworked a little
that's
bit.
been like, I think we talked about this too in the past, that obviously scaling and 3D modeling is a big hurdle. Why hasn't someone created a program that makes that less of a hurdle? I think it's feasible. I mean, I render things in AutoCAD using the 3 degrees. And if I can do that in that world, and I'm using true measurements, like I know I made this so many meters high, so many that, like, why can't I reference that into a true one-to-one kind of, like there should be parameters that can be set within programs that they talk to each other properly.
There's got to be something that, I mean, I would like to think that whatever program that you're using to do your drawing or your illustrating in, is it's got to have some way to relate unit to
like
size.
Almost you build a box that is the dimensions of your printer, so then you're building to the constraints of that, especially if you're building like multiple parts that are going to be combined into a larger build. So you're going to be building based on your production capabilities. I figured you could set your scale by that constraint and then go from there. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to be able to solve or come up with potential solutions.
We've got Pabs over here in the chat that knows a fair bit about
Shrinking and size present a different problem. Wall thickness limits come.
Oh shit, Tex is up in the spot too. What's up, Tex?
The overall model is reduced by a factor of 4. Segments now. It's too thin to be printed.
So I'm going to read this out loud. So Pab says, shrinking the size presents a different problem. Wall thickness limits come into play, which is obvious. If you're dealing with any sort of material product, if you're trying to build in anything, you have to think about wall thickness, because that is essentially how strong
it's the strength of the part
is going to be. So he also goes on to say that if a segment of a model is 1 millimeter thick and the overall model is reduced by a factor of 4, the segment will now be a quarter of a millimeter thick. Yeah. Nothing, right? And so that's too thin to be printed, which is just like on the base. The thing.
Yeah, because I know that, like, depending on how your printer prints, it's like either the layering or it's that gel resin type. It builds it by layer either way. Depending on those printers, they still build the same way. And I know that if you do not have ports or integrity built, it will fuck up the progress.
Yeah, you can, and depending on the integrity of the print hardware, the printer hardware, the carriage that adjusts all the.
I know they have that the one liquid resin one. It actually sticks to the glass and it does the layering. And I know that if you don't have a strength, when it makes that pop for the next layer, that's when it could go all fucking downhill. Yeah, I'm like, oh shit.
Or even just like if you have like an old school, like what were the old school ones? The 3D printers that were everywhere.
I like how we call it old school when I was only 5 years ago that those were prominent.
It's more than that, because this stuff has been in my radar for 12 years.
Oh well, yeah, you worked in the industry, so a lot of that was industrialized long before it went into the consumer's hands.
Yeah, I mean, I've never taken the time to get access. I've had access, but I've never taken the access to do these things because I like the scratch build. I just really like the visceral quality of making all the parts, figuring it all out, of doing it all in the real as opposed to in the matrix. But yeah, so as Pabs was saying, so that 1/4 millimeter thick is going to be way too thin to print because your machine probably doesn't have the fidelity to do that. So you can redesign the model to account for the difference thickness. The different thickness limit.
This could be something that you can essentially, now obviously this is based on skill as a 3D model. Like, you're not going to day one get this figured out. But obviously if you have a nat understanding of how the program translates to real world, you can then be proactive in your build. Like, okay, I understand that when I reduce these size to make it more scalable, I have these issues arise. So now I have to overly design these knowing I'm going to have a loss. So I guess this is the part in the whole argument that we were having many, many moons ago about, 3D modeling is super easy. Not
It's
for a
not
beginner,
easy, but
because a
whether
beginner
it's
doesn't
easy or
have
not,
the
yeah.
background knowledge to
Right.
know that when you translate this, you're going to have to redesign to get it right. But
Mhm.
after doing it 20 some odd times, you get the idea of how the program translates to the real world, so you can adapt for it ahead of time. So that's the counter argument to say that 3D modeling is as difficult, if not greater, because the whole margin of error is, unless you know what the hell you're doing, you really can't prepare for it.
Well, no, it's true. The 3D modeling stuff is all ethereal because it's in that
Plus,
matrix.
I will say, to the defense of those who 3D model, you're dealing with a higher price margin on materials. Styrene sheet is fucking cheap as shit. You fuck it up, you cut another sheet and start over again. You fuck up a print, that's wasted material that costs way more than styrene.
I've seen some horrific results recently. Weird, wild bird nests that come out of these machines. And it's just like, I know that there are ways that you can recycle that stuff into new filaments again to put it back through the machine. But I
don't think it's as strong when you go through a second wave.
Of course, it's never the same. It's just like recycling anything. It's never going to be the same as it was when you first did it. So
I like to think that both of them come with their challenges, making them worth the skills involved to do. Neither one of them is less challenging than the other. They just have different requirements, different demands. I do feel like 3D printing is way too expensive to get in as just I want to get into it. Well, scratch building is like, yeah, I can get into it and I can either fuck it up or not. And it has very little money impact versus 3D printing.
Low risk reward cost.
Yeah. The initial investments are cheap when it comes to scratch building versus but they both require an innate level of skill to properly do.
Yeah, when you've got such wonderful tutorial programs out there like Mr. Child and Mecca's various live stream, you can't go wrong.
No, I mean, he does stuff and you can just do the same thing and be like, oh, that's how you do it.
Exactly, because that's exactly how it works. Just watch Tim once and you'll know it all.
And I remember I asked Pabs this question: is it wrong to copy someone's build for personal like?
Oh yeah, we pulled this up several times.
Exactly. Oh yeah. to Tim's horn. I thought he left. We're like,
no,
he's gone. No, but when I was asking that question, like, is it okay to copy someone's build? Obviously, not in the competition sake, because that is wrong. Like to copy someone's build for both monetary or competition sake are very wrong. But to do it for your own like personal practicing, in a sense, like, okay, I want to see if I can duplicate that design and use the experience as a way to build my own skills and then my own design mythos kind of shit. Yeah, so that's why I asked that question, was to kind of go around that discussion. Hello? Oh, wait.
I'm working
I can show you guys
working on it. Hey, look, I only got so much I can do here. How do I get Kyle to be here?
Okay, here. Well, quick.
There you go.
All right. So I'm on the fence about this little thing. I cut a hole open.
Your light switch.
Did some detail. Yeah, my light switch. Okay, you really can't see the contrast in this. So there's a beveled 2x2 in there with some 1x2s on the side. I'm beveling those as well. I don't know. I'm trying to make it something. We'll see. I may just leave it and let it be. Or I'll yank it out and do something completely different.
That's exactly how scratch building goes.
Yeah. Well, I had drawn up a design of what I wanted to do, but I didn't realize the space I had to work in was not going to meet these sizes. I was like, fuck, that's not happening.
I'm not doing too bad for mine.
What's that?
So this was my drawing.
Oh, well, yeah, you did a full-on setup. For me, I was like, oh, I'm going to draw a 6x6 square detail and see if I can get it right.
No, it's more like that looks pretty hype. Those are a little bit crazy, but it's going to be a crazy build. I don't know. Why the fuck not?
Lokiness. I think you
Yeah,
should
maybe.
have. You should have the curly horn.
You think I should
One
do the
that-
curly gear?
It comes forward and goes out to the side, like the Rams, but more devilish. Like Beelzebub, I think, has horns like that in his statue.
The ones that I had came out and went back. And out
Oh,
like this.
the Hellboy horns.
Yeah, like the ones that come out and then went out and then back. That's the way I've always like. That was like what fills up my sketchbooks from high school, essentially.
Hey, look, Z's here.
Shit. Hey, Z, what the hell? Get in
The guy that should be in the stream right now.
You know, Z's super duper busy acquiring products that fill his home. He's been really a dedicated soul. We gotta I feel for his wife, but he's definitely filling up that domicile. Gotta give
With
that
all
guy
the
credit.
IKEA furniture a
Dude,
stimulus check can buy.
Is the picture of consumerism right now. God bless your soul, Z. You're gonna help us get through this. You are.
Yeah, he's keeping the economy alive, guys. Pay some kudos to that man.
Yes, super duper. And this is not even the slightest bit of shade thrown at him for any reason whatsoever.
No shade. No shade. These leaves are bare.
No. Z's super busy. I'm really glad that we had Julio Eclipse is here tonight because he's been under the weather a little bit himself with a little bit of ailments. So I was worried that we weren't going to be able to see him this evening. So we're glad to have him here. Always a good time.
Yeah. Me and Julio were talking about that earlier.
I think I'm going to go shorter on the horns, though, actually.
we had a heart-to-heart.
To heart. We got all 90s mall jams on it.
My heart. We got to do the whole dance to my heart to your heart. And you're doing the cross leg thing.
Oh, you know it. Hell yeah.
I'm not doing none of that.
All right, come on, man.
I'm not doing none of it.
Look. Let's look at my dance. My dance for you. My heart to you.
Not even my March reference of toy soldiers. We all fall down like toy soldiers. My Martzka reference.
Are we having DMC without Paps? Or did we just sidetrack and get on a tangent? Oh,
I always have DMC.
Ooh, guys, look. I did something. I took those fancy things I got from McMaster Car.
Nice.
And I put them on both sides. Bloop.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It took me 30 minutes to cut this bronze piece with this nice little blade here. Just trying to make sure it's. I need a vise. I need to get a fucking vise.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. You need at least one, if not several vices.
Yeah, I need to get a jeweler's vise. My fingers had only survived the sawing that close.
I hold it between
Took a
my
little
butt
skin at the end. I do need dancing. I am so white. I'm not going to get a call back from Backstreet Boys whatsoever.
You didn't try
Nick
hard
Chalet
enough.
will not be calling me back.
Now I have fucking toy soldiers stuck in my head from fucking 90s. Ah!
Feel the memories.
Oh, excuse me.
Shorter is better. They're still hella long, but they're shorter.
Well, put more of an arc. They're
You should have
too
made them bigger.
up.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
give them more of a wide arc.
I don't
See how
know.
that-
How to make them.
See how that fares.
Make it bigger.
Make it longer.
Make it longer.
I feel like we're gonna have a remix here.
Oh my god.
Bigger, faster, longer.
Oh,
Hey!
what up, Slump Flumpukin?
What up?
Wait, aren't you not supposed to be smoking during?
Well, it's 9:30 at night. I'm not fasting right
Oh,
now.
well, I thought that was an all day thing. It was just the fasting that was during the day.
You trying to get
It's,
him
I
in
mean,
trouble,
I'm not supposed
bro.
to be smoking anything ever.
Oh man, well,
True story.
I already fucked that up.
I just popped in for a smoke break to say hello. Julio, you okay, my man?
Yeah, I'm all right. You okay?
Oh, I can't hear Julio at all. What's going on?
I'm talking.
Yeah, I can hear him just fine.
Or Brian. I can't hear
Yeah.
Julio or Brian.
Oh no shit.
Can you hear any of us?
I can hear you, Kyle. That's it.
Oh, well, I'm pretty loud.
Oh,
So
Kyle, you're the magic
I think
man.
it's because I'm on my phone.
I think it's because we're closer. They're over there in the fucking worst coast, and we're over here in the fresh coast.
Well,
What am I saying? I'm from the East Coast. That's putting shade on myself.
Man,
yeah, you're
shade,
from
bro.
Colorado, bro.
What Z's? Where Z's in relation to Chicago? Kyle, where are you? Or like Indiana or some shit?
So I'm in Northwest Indiana. I'm about 30 minutes south of Chicago.
Exactly.
We share the same shore.
You motherfuckers.
Yeah. I'm on the other
Oh
side
my
of the
fucking
shore.
God. You're
I really
5
wish I could hear
hours
these guys.
east of where
But I
I'm
can't.
from. You fucking east.
Choo the Magnificent.
Yeah, you're Iowa.
Yeah.
You're on one of those smaller lakes.
Not just the lake. There ain't no lakes out there.
Kyle, tell me what they're saying.
I'm from a small.
they're talking about pointless places that have corn and nuclear facilities. I've been to Quad Cities.
Oh,
Cool
man.
at Iowa State. They made little man there.
Where
They
did I have to go
in the
last year
atomic
for
bomb
work
with
in the middle of
The three-eyed fish and shit coming out of
Really good.
Exelon nuclear factory.
Physics was my shit. That's my jam. Even though I
Oh,
went to
man.
art, I'm really good at physics.
We actually did a project out there. We built a new training facility out there for Exelon.
Oh, nice.
damn.
It was a shit show. That project was so behind schedule.
Ah, I wish Z could hear
Wait,
me.
who has antennas on? Julio?
Antennas? What?
Edward Leonard said he looks like he should be in A Bug's Life with those antennas.
Oh no, he's talking about the Zaku warrior that Brian's building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody order the poo poo platter.
Because they're not horns yet.
Well, anyways,
Except he can't hear
I
me.
guess I'll just go back to watching the show since I can't hear anybody else.
No, gee, no. I can translate for you.
Right? Iowa corn. Yeah. Plus, I still got 2 more projects to do before I go to sleep.
Oh, snap.
That's crazy.
When do you plan on going to sleep? 4 in the morning?
Man, I'm hoping. Like yesterday, I knocked out around midnight, and today I'm hoping to do the same. But I gotta fix the wifey's MacBook tonight, and hopefully get both of the wireless Beats working again.
What?
And that will
Wireless
be my
Beats?
Yeah, so I had these, like, I've had the Beats X's, like I've had a Beats X, and I've had this other Beats, like workout Beats, Power Beats 3, that I've had for like a year. They've just been sitting there. What did you put that up again, Brian?
I'm gonna write it on the notebook since you can't hear me. Mr. Flex over here. Yeah, I got those 2020 beats, you know, the vote of
No, they're old.
Rona
They're
Beats from
all
Dr.
old, and
Dre.
They've been sitting around, and I don't really like Beats. They were from like
corn,
freebies from
Edward.
work.
Iowa is corn.
But for some reason they're not, like, they're charging and everything. They're just not powering on and connecting. And I've been trying
Did
to
you use your Trump bucks for those beats?
no, my Trump bucks went to buy a new guitar.
Oh yeah, the one your wife's pissed about.
Yeah.
But what guitar did you end up getting? Did you get a Fender or anything?
No, nothing that crazy, man. I don't know how to play.
Did you go low school?
He went with the Epiphone large
It was
body.
only like $200.
Epiphone large body, pearl
Dax.
inlay,
Dax helped
Sunbird.
me get it. It's an acoustic. Dax helped me get it, and it was just.
Oh yeah,
Pick
Dax.
up chicks at a bonfire.
I just want to learn to play. You know, classicals are a little bit easier to play. It's like a thin line.
Oh, it's a classical guitar.
So I want to learn to play on that. Then I do have an Epiphone Les Paul.
That you're not gonna play.
That's what I'm hopefully.
So Z, did I ever tell you my uncle? So both my dad and my uncle are musicians. One's a bass player, one's a guitarist. And while my dad would sell to buy, so he would sell.
I know the story.
You know, don't ruin it for everybody else. So my dad would sell his gear to buy new gear, while my uncle would save everything and just.
Oh, I heard about this story too.
He ended up. So while my dad really didn't make a cent in his life, my uncle ended up becoming really rich off of renting old musical equipment, so amplifiers, guitars, and so he got his hands on like old Les Pauls and Gibsons, and he would just sell and trade and barter with other musicians and make a shit ton of money off of it.
Jeez.
And oh my god, he's the rich one in our family. His house is like $500,000 in the UK.
Jesus.
I'm like, fuck, Uncle Phil, we want to help us. We were poor when we were growing up. Like, where the fuck were you?
Dang.
So you could have.
Didn't you say like the last time like somebody in your family used to steal musical instruments and shit?
Oh yeah,
too?
we were all fucking robbers.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
He stopped stealing, and then eventually kept all the shit he stole and made money off of it.
Hold on. Look
But it was funny because when I went to visit, because we went to England for training one year, and I was like, well, I'll visit family while I'm here. Why not? My uncle gave me a bass that was not the exact bass, but the exact model of my dad's first bass. So here I am on a military aircraft with a bass in my hand, getting off like, okay, here we go.
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
I was dumbfounded. Like when I saw where my uncle and my dad grew up, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense why we're poor. But then I saw my uncle's house. I was like, wait, you're rich? What the fuck? Where the hell was this?
I'm not poor. You should be poor.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I was shocked. And now he like rents properties and makes a shit ton of money because he sold all of his musical equipment. If you're ever interested, YouTube Phil Harris, and you'll see my uncle with a guitar talking about the history of the guitar, playing it awkwardly.
Look at Brian's face. I think he knows.
Do you know Phil Harris?
That name is horrifically familiar.
That shit is man, white guy.
My uncle is Uncle Phil. He's English, and he's got like there's one for Gary Ullman or Gary Wood or whatever. Here, maybe I can find it. Where he talks about the history of the guitar from the guy. Yeah, Phil Harris. Apparently, my uncle died. Phil Harris death. Shit, I didn't know about that at all.
Wait, who is this?
It's a fabulous.
So apparently, there's like a famous dude named Phil Harris. Hey, House of Hufflepuffs. Phil knows, Pabs knows British people. Do you know Phil Harris?
Yes, I do. Oh, no, which one? Who are we talking about?
I'm
Phil
talking about
Harris?
Uncle.
I don't know Phil Harris. I know Rolf Harris. He's a bad man.
I will say,
Batman,
look at the wonderful weathering in this.
Here we go. Phil Harris on the 1959 Les Paul Greenie Part 1.
Between Pabs and Z, that weathering that I got there, that is sexy.
Ooh.
Yo, stop turning yourself
Hey, I'm
on.
gonna jump off and try to jump back on, so hopefully I can get everybody's audio.
Can you hear everybody?
I'll be back.
Yeah, you'll be back, right?
No, not the dude from Deadliest Catch.
No,
There's a lot of Harrises. Oh, here you go. I put a link in the thing.
I love it. Yeah.
So, Pabs, what are you working on tonight?
I'm working on some stuff.
Crap, dude. Yeah.
So I'm not set up. So I don't have the other camera set up. But
You don't need your other camera.
You can't do the cool transitions for us?
All face
No.
cam all the time.
Ooh, what is that?
Oh, nice.
it's like it's a neck. It's actually a neck.
Neck.
So
Is that from your Twin Towers?
No, this is a Jagged Mirage, but it's not a twin tower.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those weird bust things. There's a hand, a two-tone hand.
Nice.
Hard to see.
Some good shine.
Yeah. This is just regular Gaia Starbright silver.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even the silver plating. But here's the.
What's your base on that?
It is what is it? It is Gaia Ultimate Black.
It's an enamel, right?
No, it's a lacquer.
It's a lacquer. Okay.
Yeah.
My mistake.
So it's Gaia Ultra Black, and then I hit it with a Gaia Clear Gloss.
And you gloss it. Okay.
How are their clear glasses, Pabs? Notes.
Most excellent.
Most excellent?
Yeah.
What are you, Shane Long from Mortal Kombat? Most excellent.
I usually switch between
Garth Algar.
Most
He's in
excellent.
Chicago, dude. He's in Aurora right now.
Finish him.
Basement.
So I usually switch between Mr. Color UV cut.
Yeah, I love Mr. Color UV cut. That stuff's amazing.
Yeah,
and
Pabs even has the hot clues on the clear coat. So
yeah. But I've pretty much switched completely over to Gaia EX03, which is their gloss.
Do I have that? I do have that. Hold on.
I don't know.
I have EX6. Fuck, never mind.
Here, let me.
I
grab it.
randomly got a hold of this. I don't know how I fucking got it, but I don't even know what it is. Apparently, coloring is good.
It's funny
Okay.
how that happens, right? You get something, and you're like, oh, this looks really cool. And
Yeah, I don't know what I ordered. I'm trying to even. It's all in Japanese, so I can't even decipher what the.
hey, and then he's
Okay, so
up in the chat.
apparently this is fluorescent
Oh man.
clear. Why did I buy this?
Fluorescent? Is it iridescent?
I have
Okay,
a problem,
so-
guys.
This is EX03. This is their gloss clear. This is the best clear I've ever used. Like I've not used a
Like,
gloss this
Far
easy.
superior than Mr. Color, or slightly superior? Equal.
All I know is that it's easier for me to apply equally than Mr. Color.
Okay.
It's got a better
it's a-
spread on it.
It's a more it levels easy even with Mr. Leveling Thinner on Mr. Color, if that makes sense.
Does it stay wet longer, or what is it like? Just the natural properties of the
Yeah,
left.
what is like the mix or something?
It definitely it stays wet a lot longer. Like so usually with the UV cut, I can it's dry to the touch within 7 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, with this it takes a little bit longer, but it spreads nice and even. It's nice and shiny, man. Like I wish I had something here right now to.
Is it got the same protective qualities as most lacquer?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you know what? I do have something that uses.
You do your Sananju and
So here's a. Oh yeah, you're right. Damn, I forgot all about the damn Sinanju.
Come on, Pass. What the fuck?
because
There you go.
that's incredibly
Nice
shiny.
Hard to see. Very shiny, very very
Look
glossy.
at that.
Very
Nice.
smooth, yeah.
Yeah, very smooth.
I have to get me some. Sadly, that means I have to order from a certain you know who.
So this is EX04. So this is supposed to be their flat, right? Their flat clear. However, it's more of a satin finish.
Okay. So it's got
if
some
you're-
reflective property to it.
Yeah, so if you guys have ever
Take all the
seen any of my recent builds, so stuff like the Barbatos Lupus Rex, the Perfect Grade Unicorn, and stuff like that, this is what I used as a
Have
final.
you used on the Exia as well?
Yes, I did use this on the Exia. Thank you.
Okay, because I saw that in person, so I was like, what can I use as a reference of what was in person?
Yeah,
You did a Dynamis. Did you use it on the Dynamis?
I did also use it on the Dynamis. Yeah, so all of my recent builds have used.
So it works great
this-
with finishers.
Yes, everything I use, like whether it's finishes, Mr. Color, like any of this, all of this stuff, all of these.
Better or
colors
worse?
work.
Z.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear Pav. I can hear Kyle.
Hi, can you hear me now?
I
Can you hear me too?
Brian.
Hello.
Yes.
What
What's
up,
up?
Z?
Hey, I can hear Julio.
Yeah, I've used Alkalides, but
It's
their
smooth jazz.
shit's
Julio.
actually. So I remember we were talking about this, Chris, with the aqua gloss. How it's
Yeah.
actually an acrylic, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought
It
this was. I thought all cloud was all lacquers, but I found out the hard way that no, it's
I've
not,
had-
and that might be why it doesn't affect the chrome as much.
Right,
'Cause it's
right.
acrylic,
So
yeah.
since it's a wool-based clear coat, it doesn't mess with any of the chrome properties of their metallics.
Got you. I dig that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so recently they did Gaia did just come out with new clear coat. So this is their EX09 semi-gloss clear coat. So this just came out, I think maybe last month or the month before. This is like their premium line. So I've never actually used it before. This thing is not open even. So
And you know, I can give you my address and I can test it out for you.
I
I've
don't
got
know
a
about
build
that.
that's waiting
I
to get clear coated. You know,
I have
Let's go,
one
you can
ball, son.
contribute.
And then they also have their EX10. So this is more comparable to Mr. Color's super cut, no UV cut flat. So it's like
Okay.
no reflectiveness.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
because I love that stuff. I need more of it. That's what I've been using as my go-to clear coat the last few builds.
So if you want it completely flat, then get EX10 because this thing is just
EX10. Okay.
mad dry.
Cool. Yeah, I have a bunch of the Mr. UV cut. I have like 3 tins or 3 jars of the matte and 3 of the gloss, or 4 of the gloss. Sorry. And they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great. Like I mean, if you guys can't get your hands on Gaia, just
You gave me the nice tips when I was starting to fuck with the Briegel because I've always done
Collected Toys has guy now.
different products prior to this, but like pushing it through the airbrush, works really, really well. And yeah, can't.
Oh, I love the pigmentation for Gaia notes. Like the Zazubi, all Gaia notes. I just love it. Like it's such deep, rich pigmentation in there.
Like
Is it-
even with the metallics, like you notice a difference just because. So I mean, going from Mr. Color to Gaia for certain metallics like silver and gold, you see the metallic flakes on Mr. Color. You can see how the metallics are separated. The particles are very. You can see them.
Yeah, they're quite large.
Yeah, with Gaia, they're ridiculously fine, and
nice. And you get better coverage from that.
Yeah, it looks great, man. Like I don't know how
What
I don't know what I'm gonna
for-
do if I don't get Gaia notes anymore.
What I've been doing for my my metallics, my silver metallics, is this Mission Models Chrome,
Oh,
right? And this has
Is that what you put on the Neo Xeon?
this, yes, what I'm doing with it, yeah.
That's
And
pretty
then
good.
it
Then.
has its own gloss black 4 chrome that they sell for it. These are pre-mixed, so don't thin them. And that is what I've been fucking up doing. Is I've been pre-thinning these, or post-thinning these, I should say.
I'm about to say you told me not to pre-thin.
Well, no, I just didn't fucking read the instructions because I suck. So that's just, it's okay. It happens. Everybody makes mistakes.
You're too advanced. You're like, oh, I know what to do. Like, no, read the instructions first.
No. I'm like, oh, I know. I want this stuff to go on super smooth, super light. And it's like, no. Just calm down.
Z, how do you have a different background every time you go live? Like I don't.
Well, first
It's
I
like,
went
I
and
got
gave
this
you guys
angle,
the
I got this
classic
flag, I
shitter
got
background. I would sit on my toilet background.
Wait, Z, we need mood lighting. Can I get mood lighting?
Dude,
Kids room only.
You know what? That's plenty of mood lighting, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah, this is good.
I love the calendar in the background.
We've
That's
got the Ramadan
That's
kind of
pretty.
The Ramadan
decorations
calendar?
and
So it's like the Advent calendar for
It is.
Ramadan?
We made an
regal,
advent
man.
calendar for the kids.
But you don't get chocolate. You get like something that you don't want.
We give them dates.
Oh, I got a rock. Cool. All right. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's like, hey.
Damn it, Ramadan.
But
Wow.
the
Ramadan's quite
Oh,
interesting.
boy.
Because doesn't it change
that looks pretty decent,
year
right?
based on
Yeah, I like that.
Shiny.
Man, it looks like doo doo.
It's pretty. It's pretty
Looks
smooth.
like doo-doo.
Here,
That looks
like
pretty good.
to compare metallics, like you can see. I'll show you guys this one right here,
Following.
which is a spine
Oh,
essentially.
here, let me give that to you. Hang on.
Like, I don't
see
even
that? Let me
know
see
if
that,
this
Pat?
thing has like a.
Let me see. More doo doo.
Ooh.
Close-
Ah.
Put the piece closer to your hand and cover your face with your hand.
More dookie.
Nope. It's
Pull it
too-
back a little bit.
Man, that is some good smelling doo-doo right there.
Nope.
Nope.
I wouldn't flush that.
Nope.
That's like,
It's-
Every
it's-
on your face though.
I'm sorry, man.
But yeah,
It's shiny.
it's you can I see a big difference.
See,
from,
I like spraying the Molotov chrome, but nothing can go over it, and it's a really weak. Like that's the thing I hate about
that's
it.
what I've heard. Yeah,
No,
it's not very strong once you
it
lay it.
doesn't
can
last very
fly.
long either. Like once
No, it
that
doesn't.
thing goes down, you can't put anything over it, and then it starts to fade after a couple months.
Yeah, and as soon as you touch it, no matter how long you let it dry, as soon as you touch
Oh
it,
yeah, fingerprints.
I think
It's
everyone will be like, I don't think you're the fading. Maybe it's because I've had this kit in the case for that.
Maybe. I mean, it could be direct sunlight. It could be anything like that. But I've noticed.
I've had in the
Manning has a question, guys.
What
What
up,
is your
Manning?
preferred primer? and why?
My preferred primer.
Yeah, that question.
It's
You
for
can-
oh, here we
everyone.
go.
What's
Yeah.
the preferred primer? Oh, I just use Mr. Servicer 1200.
Yeah,
I'm pretty generic.
that's my bad.
Special.
I like it.
So I also use Mr. Surfacer, but I bought a bottle of the Splash primer. I heard it's
Oh.
insanely strong,
Yeah,
but
I
I've yet to
like
try it.
Ooh, I do want to use
I
Gaia
got
Note
the-
Surfacer though.
I got
I've
that
had this
Black
for a
Rod.
long time, and I'm waiting to use this.
So
Chris,
I
Chris
use
probably can attest to this.
I use Mr. Surfacer
Yeah, so the-
for regular stuff.
Mhm.
Then I use NASCAR Surfacer, and then I also use Surfacer Evo.
Yeah,
Really
That's
good.
fancy.
Brian, really good for resin. Seriously,
Oh, really?
really like this stuff is made for resin. So
Yeah.
It's
1200. Yep.
it's
My
it's
little
pretty good for a decent.
fancy Mr. Color bottles only cost me $2 for these big daddies,
What you mean?
and then $1 for these smaller daddies.
I mix up
Dude,
a
I
little
bought a shit
Elmer's
ton of these fucking
glue,
things when I saw
some
it.
paint, and some water. I use
So yeah, Manny, Alcalad can go over Molotov, but it still loses its shine. I don't care what Adam Savage says. That clear coat 2 or the clear coat from Alcalad, they still
Adam Savage
you lose
also
the chrome.
Adam Savage also has a completion to photograph time window of approximately 3 hours. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
think about it. After that time is done, his shit is falling apart. Love Adam to death. Guy's talented. He's got a lot of good things going on. He's doing a lot of good things for the community, but he looks for a window of this much. When you're looking for
Yeah.
something to last for years, he's working at a fraction of the amount of work you need to put into it.
Agreed.
I don't like Adam Savage's thumb. He
Stop
hit it
looking
way
at
too
his
many
thumb.
times with a hammer. He's got the fucking stump
Looking
thumb.
at his thumb, Jesus.
I
Is
see
it
that
like
shit when he's holding. He's like,
bent, or is it-
look. He's got the
Uh,
thumb in the way of the camera. Look at this piece I'm working on. I'm like, dude, get the thumb away from the screen.
Is it because he crushed his thumb? Is that the one? Or
Manny is 2
Yeah,
to 1.
he like crushed
I-
it.
2 to 1.
I
2 to
rolled
1.
this shit. Yeah, I rolled this
2 to
shit
1.
right here. Molotov, Chrome. I just got the refill because I just blow it through my airbrush. So why buy a pen? And yeah, it's like it's super ridiculously finicky. To get it to have a good shine, you have to pool it. It doesn't really matter what it matters what's below it, but at the same time, you can put down the most silky smooth high gloss finish, and if you dust this shit at the wrong angle, it is gonna ruin the shine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I heard if you look
it's
at
so
it wrong
tested.
and breathe on it,
Beware.
that shit will
Be
smear.
freaking wear. It's meant for like dipping or like it's meant to it's meant to be a pen to write on birthday cards.
Right.
It's not meant to do what we're doing to it. So until
Ooh.
it's great that they give it to us like this, but
So Manny, what I do?
Manny was asking about the mixing ratios. Remember how we talked about the issue I ran into with the Zazabi? How I was using Mr. Level Thinner on my mixes, and how you recommend don't, because we were thinking that the retardant that was in here was causing me to have lift.
that's not even littler. That's regular.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about here. You didn't see it. I had the right one up the whole time. What are you talking about?
You were using the wrong one the whole time, Cal.
No, and it brought up a good point, because we don't know the whole science behind it, but it is a good cautionary tale, because I was having paint lift with my primer, but the primer was staying. Like, the primer wasn't the issue, so I know that the surface below the primer wasn't greasy and all that. It had a good bind, but the paint on top of it. So me and Paz were talking about it, and we suspect, there's no definitive response, but we suspect that the retardant that's in Mr. Level Thinner was causing paint issues from the paint going above it, so it wasn't getting a good bind. I don't know how accurate it is, but just use caution. Ever since then, I stopped using Mr. Level Thinner. I've just been using thinner, and it's been great.
I'm genuinely trying to remember this conversation.
This was almost a year ago.
Most of the issues that I have is when I prime.
Pabs.
But like if I'm working on a lot of shit, like right now I've got 4 or 5 projects going at the same time. 2 of them are like in post-production finish projects. One is just idle, and there's other ones that are just going. So what happens is, like, as I'm priming and doing things will prime and be like, okay, that's good, and it gets set aside. And because I live in New York City and there are people everywhere, and we have cats, and my landlord smokes cigars and everything, like, shit builds up on the surface of your primer. So as I've been doing this, I've been having to go through and clean the things that I am already primed before I apply another paint coat to it, because it does wild, stupid stuff if you don't pay attention to what's going on. So what I can recommend, and as a maybe a thing that might work, is if you're going to prime something, do some way to cover it, hide it, put it in a box, put a towel or something over it, something light, a sheet, a pillowcase or something like that, to hide it from the air, so that it doesn't get stuff particulate to shed on it. Like,
yeah, because I was doing that because I got a cat in this room, so I always keep things boxed and away from the cat.
This all the time. So
listen, this fucker come in there. Oh, I'm gonna play with your parts.
To quickly answer Manny's question, right? So here is my bottle of thinner. So this is what I use for thinner. So I usually do a 3-to-1 ratio. So it's like
spice melange.
Yeah. So this much primer, and then It's 3 parts. Then that's always worked for me. It might not work for you. It depends on your preference for primers. And then the only time I've ever had paint lift is when I was too impatient with applying color after I applied primer. So essentially, I didn't let the primer cure, meaning the retardant was still underneath the paint before it evaporated, causing lift. So that's the only time I've ever had any actual primer peel. So the primer would stay on the piece, but the paint would peel. So I don't know.
Now I wait a day in between each
His
coat.
next question is it the
like,
same
spray,
thing
come back
for
tomorrow,
resin,
spray.
or is there a different approach using those primers?
Well, the time that it lifted for me was with a plastic kit, so it wasn't even with resin.
Well, because you use the same setup for your resin, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what your base color is going to be, that's what really dictates.
Yeah, so I have like different. Well, yeah, I do. I have like different primers for different things. So,
and for all, like, the Tamiya primer in the can has always worked wonders for me. Like, if you're gonna be doing a gray primer, like not necessarily the whites or the black or whatever, but the gray primer in the can has always worked awesome. I've never
You talking
had an
like
issue with
Tamiya, or are you talking?
Yeah, the Tamiya. Yeah, the Tamiya.
Yeah, the Mister's primer or whatever it is.
Right.
no.
No,
Wait, what?
yeah, the Tamiya, the
Or
gray,
Surfacer, that's what
the
it
gray
is. Like,
cap, white
Tamiya
bottom
Surfacer.
can, right?
No, he's talking about Tamiya. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's talking about
not
Tamiya.
Mr. Surfacer.
Well, isn't it
Yeah.
say called like Surfacer on the thing for the primer? I have a bottle in here somewhere. It's got like Tamiya and it's gray.
It says Tamiya Primer Surfacer.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the But that's worked great for me too, and I've actually put it on resin, just to kind of see how it looks. Like that picture of my Providence that's not been finished, that's all white. That's
not good.
that's Mr. Surfacer primer, and that primer was smooth. As long as you're not heavy-handed, it works pretty damn good. I usually strip it off once I'm done kind of like getting a blank canvas. But it has worked for me, so it may work for some people.
Yeah, before I had an airbrush, I used that stuff for priming, and it works pretty good. But it's just so limited. You can't just do it any day in the neighborhood and go to town.
Right.
You have to deal with outside, weather and all that. That's the only big problem with it.
Dust.
So Manny,
a lot of dust.
The difference
You're
between
throwing a lot of particles away without using them, unfortunately. It's the problem with using rattle cans. Even though like the VOC is good and the application is good and they have a good mix.
The airsoft just seems to kick shit up.
You're losing so much product just like overspray.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the draw, in my opinion, like the drawback, and why I switched from using any sort of rattle can product to doing everything through the airbrush. Is control. Application, saving money and saving myself and health. Everyone.
This shit isn't cheap, so
the environment.
No, it's not. It's like $11 for a stupid can.
And one can works for like maybe half a full build if you're doing anything super crazy.
Cast clear.
What do you need to cast clear resin as far as prep and cooking?
Eggs, flour, some sugar.
You need some baking powder as well.
Not funny.
So what really matters when you're trying to cast a clear resin, there's a number of things that matter when you're trying to cast clear resin, and the first thing that matters is the base unit or the master that you're casting from. The surface condition of that cast is going to determine the base level of the clearness of the resin that you put in it. So even if you put the cleanest, most pure pour and you put it in a pressure caster and you crush those bubbles to a micro,
you guys
can't
see that?
The surface texture of your fucking shit is going to make it hazy if it isn't smooth.
Manny's going to recast a headpiece.
I
wouldn't recommend that.
I wouldn't recommend it at all, dude. That
thing is way too fragile.
Yeah, it's so delicate. It's ridiculous that Stickler Studios even managed to 3D print that.
Yeah.
Let alone recast it. It is going to be extremely difficult to get a good pull out of that without completely destroying that piece.
I remember seeing the work in progress ones when he was doing that. This before I even knew what the warm word was. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's got an angel like a Rolls Royce. I was like, he 3D printed that? Oh my God, there's so much detail.
What a lot of people don't realize is that is version 20 something out of however many versions he made, because he tried to recast that thing so many times.
Yeah.
And it did not work.
It's got a lot of detail in very fragile pieces.
And
he's
you
got-
you guys want to know the scary thing? He made it in 1/144 scale too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I've seen them.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah. One of the guys in Alex's Discord has them.
It's
It's
insane.
yeah, pretty rad. So he did mold that, and he does cast.
Yeah, he 3D printed obviously like the
The
monster.
master, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then recasted those.
Yeah, because I've seen
I
them. They
feel
are
crabbing
they
mine
look
just so
3D
people know what it
printed.
looks like.
Yeah, my thought was that the whole thing was they were all 3D printed.
I'm pretty sure, like specifically for the head quest, I believe he recasted it.
Okay,
For
cool.
stuff like the Dynamis, like the conversion kit was, I believe that was all 3D printed.
Wow.
Wow. I love
I
the
don't
box this thing comes in. So dandy.
It's beefy. It's a beefy little toolbox.
I love it because it's so versatile. You can use it for other things after you're done building.
It even says Stickler Studio on the corner.
Yeah.
But that kit now
I'm a
exists as a
stickler for
regular
my
kit, right?
models.
Was that
Does he?
So that kit, that resin kit, now it exists as a regular kit, does it not?
The woundwort.
No, there's no
it
1/100.
exists
In a
as
master
yeah.
grade? It doesn't
Yeah.
still?
No.
No, it's not a master grade. It's a 144
So,
scale Bandai.
Look what it
engine.
comes into:
Okay.
a pressure clamped
Yeah.
thing to hold it in place and protect it.
You know,
Yeah.
Kyle, did you see Manny's post on it? Like, apparently the second one doesn't use that same case. No.
Oh,
The one I saw was just in
you
like
got
a
shysted then.
fuzz and a
So
jewel.
look at the detail and just fragile. I mean, I'm just looking at it makes me feel like it's going to break.
That thing
I'm
has
not
a
looking forward to putting this on the head, but if you look, you can actually see my camera won't pick
face.
it up.
You
but
can actually see
there
his
is the
face.
detail to look. You can see the head, the boobs, the angel, and for lack of a better way of identifying the human figure. Like that is impressive, and it is clean. Those lines are clean. Pretty crisp.
I
Considering the
would
difficulty of matching that.
To try to recast that.
Please
You
don't.
should.
Don't.
Are you really?
No, just as a challenge. Just for
Oh,
fidelity.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Just
gonna
as
say
a challenge.
I was
Like, not to
just
fuck somebody over. Don't give me a... No.
I gotta
I
look
would
through
do it
these
because
parts
people would
though,
say, because people say that it's hard to do and that you can't do it is why I want to do it. Because I think I could probably do
I like how he recast the thing as it printed. He didn't even cut it out and then cast the hands. He's like, "Fuck it,
Why?
I'm gonna keep it on its structure
You
and
don't need
everything."
to. It's perfect.
These are
Because
the
you're casting in all your gating. It's perfect.
Yeah,
That is
it works out great. But I just love how he's just like, I'll just
Yeah, dude.
cast it.
Fucking love that. I love that.
I
Genius.
need to look through this though and kind of look at the parts and make sure.
Yeah, if you do
I figured I would wait until me and Pab start it so we can do
Or
it
like-
together.
if you're 3D printing,
Manny already has a head start.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck, Manny? Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, you guys are out there are 3D printing to make an add-on, to make an accessory, to do a dress up, to do whatever. 3D print your gates in. My lord, do it with a thin level, like you know how you can do with the little thing, because you know that when you mold that, it's going to be fine. It'll be so easy to break off, dudes. Please, as a fucking scratch builder that does
Man,
this
look where
shit,
the gates are on this.
make it smart. Do it
Very
with a computer.
conveniently placed.
So the problem with the biggest problem with Stickler Studios is his presentation. The presentation is great. The packaging is great. He does not quality control his costing.
So you're going to see different variations amongst each.
You'll definitely see 3D print lines on that thing.
Because I remember you mentioned that you had a couple of pieces that are going to require some work, and I looked at this briefly when I first got it, and I was like, look over it, see if anything's broken in there, and just at a quick glance, everything seemed to be good.
Right.
But I actually haven't looked in detail about the mold lines or that. Let's see. Hold on. I see some of it. It's hard to see in the bag, but I can see some of the layering lines.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the layering lines, and he is the only resin designer slash printer that doesn't sand those over before recasting or reprinting. Or whatever.
I mean, if he's going to print a final copy for the master, why didn't he just do it at the highest resolution so you don't have to worry about that?
Clean it up before it goes to mold. You can't. That's rough, man. I mean, in my opinion, you can't.
Yeah, that little extra legwork will save you dividends. But, I mean, it's minuscule. I'm not going to say this is the worst I've seen, but still, I kind of noticed it on some. It's in the underside. I'm not seeing it on the top. But
working with different resin kits, working with different designer resin kits, there are no 3D print lines whatsoever, and I know for a fact that these things are 3D printed. So it's
You've been spoiled, perhaps.
yeah, it's a shame, but it's a great cost. So
Yeah,
I'll call it a good way.
I like it as a first full resin Gundam.
Does
I think
the
it
price
would be
point reflect the
119
Pretty
how much I
expensive.
paid for it. It was on
the-
sale.
119.
But I think it was 147 as a standard cost, and then USA Gundam lowered the price when they were doing pre-order. But that was USA Gundam. There was a couple of other. What's the one guy who sells a lot of resin stuff too that Danny Gunpla buys from?
Musagan
Danny,
Hobby.
From Samuel Deco.
Yeah, exactly.
Musagan
Studio
Hobby,
something.
Dream Studio K.
Yeah, I think Dream Studio K is who we got it from.
Mhm.
Because they got theirs before we got ours. By like a month or two. No, a month. It was 1 or 2 months.
Hey, Dream Studio UK is the one that you're always posting about, right, Pabby?
Yeah, we have an understanding going on.
Understanding.
There's a
Yeah.
common agreement amongst
Well,
gentlemen.
I bought that.
It's actually
that's an animal.
a female. Her name is Karen.
Oh.
Mhm.
She's a Karen?
Then an agreement
You
amongst
can't-
peoples.
Yes, an
We
agreement
can-
amongst peoples.
Well, I know Tex is sponsored by them. You have an agreement
Yes.
with them. But I bought that Sinanji from them, and I think is it the Fortune Meow or the Yujiao?
What, the
new-
Sinanju?
No, the Sinanju is plastic. But
Right.
before that, I ordered the High New.
Oh, that's
resin upgrade.
I think you
Is it
ordered the
Yujiao or Fortune?
See,
Yujiao.
why are you ordering all these kits? We haven't even finished the
Because
Dimensions
one
kit
day-
you have.
Kyle,
You've
I've
been
given up,
building
man.
for years.
Kyle, I've given up. Don't worry about it. Just let him spend his
Listen.
money.
Tag me in. Tag me in.
One day, my kids will be all grown up.
And they'll be like, Daddy, why did you waste all of our college money on these damn
They're
plastic
gonna sell
models?
it for pennies on the $10.
No, and I was telling I was telling somebody the other day that I'm literally gonna get rid of. I'm gonna do a PABS basically and get rid of all the backlog, and just do the resin kits when I get started. Just all the resins that I have, just do those, and then if I need to get back to
Hey
anything
Z,
else, I
buddy,
will.
old pal. I have a place you could get some of your backlog too.
Yes.
Yeah, sure, you got it.
It's a
But
scheme.
everything that I have, most of the shit that I have is probably like shit that people don't like. Like a lot of my kits are like seed kits.
I don't care. I use it for parts.
Oh,
Ken buys the
Listen,
fuck
that's
out of
my
everything.
hard-earned money. My hard-earned backlog can't be your Greebles. Come on.
I mean, it's serving a greater purpose. It's being sacrificed for the greater Gunpla gods.
I mean, there's a few good
Yeah.
seed kits.
my
I don't
hard-earned
know.
backlog can't be your
I'll build at
Greeble.
least one ashtray.
I love it. I
One
love it. Oh man, Strays.
ashtray.
The Astray,
Why?
that's great.
Why?
I have a Blitz conversion waiting in the backlog.
A
You guys doing a
katana,
Gantz build off?
katana, Gundam.
How the hell do you
What's
guys
not
do
to
a
love?
Gantz build off?
A what build off?
Gantz. Apparently, Julio's doing a Julio. Read Manny's question.
You going to do the Gantz build up? I don't know, maybe.
What is the Gantz build off? Don't leave us hanging.
Oh
What is
my
this?
god. Amazing.
What is? I don't.
You
What
guys
does
are
that mean?
Gantz?
Yeah, Gantz
Gantz
is fucking
is a-
awesome. I
Gantz
read the
is
whole
a-
manga.
It's just like a manga and an anime IP.
Yeah.
There's like a not as a 3D CG that's on what
Netflix.
or something?
It's-
Gantz Zero. It
yeah,
takes place like midway through the first story arc.
right. Yeah, that's the only thing that I have any sort of familiarity with.
It's
but
pretty decent.
Dude, I read it.
Yeah.
It gets
I heard
fucking
it was okay. I
crazy.
just don't have time to
Crazy.
sit and read.
What's really cool about that 3D CG movie is the teleportation.
How they did that, and you could see the skin and the underlays, like they're
see,
being
yeah.
laser cut.
You can see the muscles and
Mhm.
that's very difficult to do. in
Well,
3D.
it matches the manga perfectly because that's how they did it too. They actually drew in all those details when he did the slicing. That was pretty cool.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Gantz. Gantz is a manga that turned into an anime that turned into a CGI movie.
Your favorite Z anime.
Anime. I only watch
Am-
if it's not,
Omni.
like if it's not weeb shit like Dragon Ball. I don't.
No, it's It's actually like more
It's-
niche,
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi, high-tech sci-fi stuff.
but it's from a pretty
One
famous
big
manga
one.
artist, so
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah,
all.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Is
some
it
no
like that
bullshit
one
stuff.
guy that everybody loves? Like his manga is more like super amazing, classical
The
romantic
thing is,
movies
there's
versus
like probably 100,
No, he's very gory.
200 of that one guys that are out there. So,
There are a lot of mangakas and
you know that one guy that everybody loves? Like, which that one guy?
You know the guy who draws shit? That's him.
There's lots of
That's
them.
him.
listen, guys,
But he
I'm
draws
trying really
things
hard.
that other people don't draw in the way in which he draws it.
Yeah, there's lots of those.
so
They're
even though
amazing.
I've taken a break from the Sinanju for a couple of days, here's the leg part. I don't know if you guys can
Listen,
see.
Pat, you were brought here for some DMC. and
I like
Julio
that.
didn't talking.
I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I like that blue.
We
I
gotta
like
get
the
some DMC.
fluorescence.
What's not to like about this blue, yo?
It's a good blue. I like it.
I like this. I like the Sinan blue. You know what I mean?
Sinan blue, yeah.
Everybody painting their Sinanjus gray and red.
Red.
On your end, Pabs, I'm painting mine purple.
All those lame
Hell
ass
yeah.
colors.
Because you can't.
No, well, I can paint the Neo Zeon purple. What up?
I actually like.
No, you're supposed to paint it white.
Well, I was actually gonna paint.
Solid pearl.
I'm gonna give it an NT color scheme probably.
Oh, really?
Okay, so you're going with the off-white gray.
The off-white gray, a couple of off-white grays, and a little bit
Right.
of violet in there.
Yeah, there can be a lot of there's a lot of real estate to play with. So
Yeah,
you can't just like
absolutely.
all the same.
Just-
Yeah, cool.
I mean,
Awesome.
it's
I
all
really like
primer
that.
gray right now. There it is, NT.
Boom. There you go. No, you know that
Boom.
new Sinanju conversion.
That's why the
that we
Stein
did?
is an easy build. You're like, I'll prime it. Boom, it's done. Look at that. It's amazing.
Shine to this side over here.
That's nice.
It looks pretty
And
good,
Pabs,
right?
let's see your thrusters.
The back's all
Thrusters.
and the back's all just black.
I
Black
don't know,
neck.
man. It's all gray right now. Like in the back, there you go. Thrusters. See, it works, man. It's functional.
No, right?
First
Mine is
thrust.
mostly like first black.
Buildoff. That's awesome.
What were you saying, Z?
I was saying that the color scheme that I really like is the one that you did on that Sinanju conversion.
The one where you did the
orange.
frame on it? Are you
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
Pabs OG black
It was
one?
like
The
was like
the
a-
Stein. The
a
Stein version.
Stein,
Oh.
but it's got like V fins and shit, right?
Yeah, so the
I-
orange and black white one, right?
Yeah,
It's
that
actually
one.
orange and navy. Not
Navy,
only
okay.
you see it, but it's navy. But I actually didn't
It's
use
navy.
the fin that came with the conversion. I used a Sinanju resin conversion recast and used the command antenna from that because I don't like V fins on Sinanjus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their heads don't work with that.
I don't like it.
I wish
It's horn or nothing. Unicorn or nothing.
I don't like it either.
There's a live action Gantz movie.
Yeah.
There
Gantz
was.
Zero. We were talking about it. Where were you?
That's the CG movie. There's a lot.
Oh, yes. The Japanese one. It's garbage.
Yeah,
No,
it's
we don't talk
garbage.
about it. It's just like when they used to do those fucking
Attack on
on-stage
Titans movie.
plays.
Yeah, what I'm thinking of is Against Zero.
Gantz.
No, it's just Gantz, and it's I think they did it before Gantz Zero came out on Netflix.
But the live action, yeah, that was 2005 or 6. I want to say.
Oh snap!
I read Gantz during my second deployment when we were shutting everything down and we were done with Iraq. My friend and I were reading a lot of manga, so I read like Rosario Vampire, I read Gantz and all that. I was like, hey, what better time to use my time catching some good animes.
You can put it to good use. You got it, man.
See,
Well, what it was, I'd
no
watch the
better
anime,
use your
the
time.
show would end, and then read the manga. I'm like, oh, I can continue the story. Okay.
I don't have access to all this stuff either, so
Go to mangareader.com. It's all free. Brought to you by the donations from your local nerds.
What is that? Backpack? What is that?
That's that black or that chrome he was talking about.
No,
Yeah,
but
this-
what part is that? I'll tell.
The thruster
Oh,
for
it
the
is.
Stein, the Sinachu.
Yeah, on the backpack.
Mm.
It's the mechanics part of the backpack thruster.
I like it.
Cleans up so nice, right? They clean up so nice.
Yeah.
Here,
I mean, this
guys.
part's
So
so
the
shiny.
shoulder doesn't look as bad now that I have it in place.
I mean, this shit's so good, and you'll never see it. It's never gonna see the light of day.
But you know. But you know.
I know. Kyle, you've been really going to town on your Zaku, and
Dude, I'm loving it. I'm like in a fucking the juices are flowing. I'm like, yes, do this.
in my own ways that I make things the way I do.
Julio, what are you working on back there?
Heavy arms.
Building the EW heavy arms. What was that new one they released that had like all the cool weapons that come with it?
It was
Supernova one, the model or
one.
model heart one.
I'm in a teardrop. No, it's the
Oh no, that one.
manga one. Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that one. I know what you're talking about. It did come out somewhat recently, or it's coming out. P-Bow, right? Maybe. Or something.
It's either already out or coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it looked pretty hype.
Trim my beard. It's getting bushy.
Because I got like the EW, and I also grabbed the. That's not what I got.
Look what I picked up, Kyle.
Yeah, I have a beard comb. It's in the bathroom.
Supernova.
I finally got
When it
one.
gets this long, like this shit's
Amazing.
fucking thick. It is long.
It smells so good too.
You guys are babies.
Hey, 2 months or 3
Oh
months.
yeah.
Oh,
Look at this amazing beard I can grow.
Yeah,
It's kind of
You know, I mean,
funny.
it was mine's like to the point where it's finally starting to get like
Have
rough
to
and
grow a
a
better
little
beard
bit
than I do.
longer.
This is as
Starting to
far as it
fill in.
goes, though, man. Like I can't fill it in. It's
You get the
crazy.
Keanu Reeves patch.
Yeah,
Jeez.
right here. This is it, man. This is it.
Meanwhile, Julio over here with like
It's like I've been growing this shit
the
since I got
red
out of the
carpet
womb.
of beards. Right?
You guys all got full heads of hair though.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
we're not fighting gravity.
Not anymore.
I mean, I'm kind of it's messy. So
Hey, that
I need to give myself a haircut again. It's starting to.
Julio, if you grow your hair, like what like how does it look? I've never seen you with hair, man.
I got curly hair.
Your curly hair. Oh, okay.
Curly, are you sad about this?
Yeah.
Dude, curly hair fucking sucks.
Why?
This is the worst.
Why is curly hair
But
bad?
it's beautiful. But it's
For
beautiful.
some reason, old ladies love that shit.
It looks
No one else.
takes work.
I have curly hair. I hate it. Hate it. Used to
I
have a Jew fro when I was young. I'm not even Jewish.
Hella jelly. I had the corn silk white hair when I was a little kid. My shit was like straight as fucking like white, like Children's of the Corn.
See, my hair is naturally wavy, but it's not like straight or curly. So it's in between, I guess. It's not. Yeah, it
Question.
naturally waves.
I had like colics and shit, but as I've gotten older, it like is starting to curl on the ends. I mean, now it looks like shit because I've had it in a hat all day, but like
I think it's because your oils haven't reached that part of your hair, so they're getting frayed.
my hair like starts to go like this.
Hey, Pabs.
If I like let it go, it'll like lock up and we'll start to fucking like make these big ass like crazy
You're
Goldilocks.
gonna get the Hasidic,
I
Hasidic
can do
Jew.
that. No, I can
curls.
totally do that. Yeah, I can totally do the Hasidic. Yeah, the
Manny's got a question, guys.
oh
Yeah.
shit.
Do you guys have any tips using a gravity cup airbrush with a micro air controller? Yeah, I haven't used any of those fancy
Here's a tip.
airbrushes. I just
Don't
control with the
use
compressor.
gravity cup airbrush.
Any of you guys use that? The one that's got the adjustment at the airbrush?
No,
Maybe
I
like
did
something like
before.
this.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
there you go. Paz has got one.
Yeah, I use it. I use this thing constantly. So what I do is I completely close it up first, and then like to see if there's any kind of leakage is what I would check.
something
first,
in the
man.
hose.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
You got to check your O-rings, bro.
you go.
You might
Oh, you're probably getting water in the mix too if you don't have a
You stock up on your
separator,
yeah.
moisture trap. Yeah, spatter is probably water in the mix too.
Yeah,
trap key, guys. Super
I mean,
key.
it's super important, man. Like I run them. I run like double.
Yeah, I've got one at the compressor and one at the
Yeah, I was gonna.
airbrush.
None will look like it sucks.
I have them on my compressor, and then I have.
Hey,
also-
Julio,
What?
you like your moisture trap?
That shit broke, son.
What?
That
I
shit-
bought you premium shit. I
Nah, it's good. I do like it. It works fine.
remember we were talking. He's like, I don't have a moisture trap. I'm like, what? You have a moisture trap?
I don't
Manny,
use a moisture trap.
if you want a quick fix to your your
Got to get this one too right here.
Oh,
Your quick disconnect.
Quick
You
release.
guys
Oh,
are fancy.
yeah.
That's
Get
too
that
fancy.
quick release.
Keep your moisture
Back
trap on.
Too rich for my blood.
See, I keep my moisture trap on, and then the quick release after the moisture trap, so it stays on there.
Wait, why? What kind of money are you spending on 17 moisture traps for your brushes?
He's got 2 of them at least.
No,
Hey guys, just to make you more humble. Look, get on screws. There you go. Bring you down to earth here. This is this low tech shit right here.
That's what I'm saying.
Your
I have
fucking
no
quick
moisture
release.
trap. I have
Manny,
quick
that's like this one. This one only has one moisture trap on the line, and that's at the end of the compressor.
Yeah, I have one of the compressors and I have it in the line because this came with my Eclipse. So I was like, I'll double up. Why not?
Here's a question, Manny. Is what brand is the airbrush? Is it a master? Because it might just be the airbrush itself, no matter.
Do masters have the additional control though? I thought that was for more of the
yeah.
higher end.
Some of them do. Some of them
Some
do.
of them? Okay.
I used to have all 3,
Like
but none of them ever sealed perfectly.
like with the Mr. Like this is the Mr. Hobby stuff. Like
The
I've
Creo.
never had a sputtering problem with this thing. But from what I've read that people who have had that problem is that, they close it to check if there's any seals, and then they open it all the way out. And that's like a quick fix to the problem. But then obviously you can't control your air intake. So
so just do a leak test and then
Check
Go
your
from there.
ring, check your hose. It sounds like
Now, Manny,
Then
does it
I do a backflow to
splatter
make it go back to
once you
normal.
start painting, or is it something that like gradually presents itself? Because that could be a sign.
make sure
Like, do you shotgun first spray, or is it start to sputter as you lay down?
he says when the spitting happens, I do a backflow to make it go back to normal.
You could have
So
tip
it's
dry.
clogging.
Yeah,
it's
clogging at the tip.
Yeah, you might want to clean your cup. That might be a thing.
Yeah,
Put
clean
your
the cup,
cup
clean
one,
the
I
tip,
should say.
and clean it out more.
Do a disassemble, Manny, and then I would do a wash. Like I would clean everything out and then
What
reduplicate everything.
airbrush is he using now? Because that would make a huge difference. Because you know how the Eclipse has the cone nozzle that removes, and then the other, like the Sotar, has the standard cap, and the paint flows through that completely different.
He says it's a Hubest new professional 0.2, 0.3, 0.5 dual action.
I've never heard of that.
Hubest is I believe is it a Chinese brand?
For example,
professional guys.
they just stripped this one down to bare bones so that I could get in there because the valve was sticking.
Yeah.
I have that. You gotta put some lube in there.
Yeah, you gotta lube it up.
I don't know, like shotgunning, because I had that happen with one of my kits, and one issue was I had moisture in the line, and then the other issue was paint was drying, so I had to put more retardant. This is why I hate fucking with acrylics. Since I moved to lacquers, I haven't had the same bullshit stuff. Especially with
don't
Vallejo.
ask the Gundam mechanic for any help because she will not
Amazon
help.
airbrush.
Who's the Gundam mechanic?
Oh, you know who she is.
Julio, you know. Just I'm gonna give you 4 letters. One starts with a J and ends with a G.
I don't want to talk about it.
Remember the same old?
Let's not
The
talk
reason why I
about it.
bring it up is because I had
Talk
this
about it.
problem
It's Pat's
about
best friend.
a year and a half ago, I think, and I was asking her, and she's the master painter and shit. Do you remember that? And it was in our admins group, and she was like, "I don't know why. Maybe it's because you're using different kinds of paints." And I was like, "But I clean that shit out. Like, who gives a fuck if I'm using acrylic or lacquer? I clean it out after every job. It's not because of my paints."
She called herself Gundam mechanic.
Yeah.
That's
That's a certain individual's IG.
Let's not promote that name out. All right.
No, get that shit on block.
That's
Word.
funny though.
use code mechanic
That
10.
name grace your lips upon my channel.
If you guys like seeing a lot of repaints, definitely go check her out.
Manny, if the Hubest is what I think it is, then it's usually an Iwata clone. You should be fine watching an Iwata breakdown.
Well, we can easily show him right now. And Nawada's not that fucking complex.
No, not at all, man.
Especially
like the
Neo.
Creo stuff is a pain in the butt
So
to disassemble.
here's an Eclipse. Pretty straightforward. This is customary across the board. You have your back cap. I don't know the terminology, so just bear with me. That removes, gives you access
Let me
to
reassemble
Hold on,
mine.
hold
and
on.
do it.
chuck a needle, Undo
Put
this.
him on the big screen, Brian.
Pull your needle. Brian.
Give him the
I'm
big
here.
boy. Give him that
There you
big
go.
boy.
Sorry, mine's kind of stuck because I have left paint sitting here. Sorry.
Oh my god!
Remove
Look at this
needle.
amateur.
Be careful. Don't drop the needle and then go, I have to buy a new needle, guys.
I gotta buy a new needle for
But
me.
if you do bend your needle, there's ways to fix it without buying new shit. Be careful with the chuck. When you loosen this, retighten it so it stays on there. Now, this larger assembly is on a spring load. You can then remove this entire piece. But when you remove this, it's going to take tension away from your trigger. So be cognizant of that. And depending on the airbrush, this little catch plate that's behind your trigger is either going to be attached to this spring piece or it's going to be a separate piece. So just be mindful of these. Again, like mine is attached for this particular airbrush. But in some cases, this is separate. So just
Like the
take your
silver-
time, hang over a desk while you tear this apart. So if anything falls out, it doesn't fall. And you remove this. Ta-da. Again, all this has to be done in the order in which I'm showing you. You have to remove
So
the
that's
needle
a
first
clip,
to get
right?
access.
Pay attention to the trigger that you just pulled out because it is one directional.
Yeah.
The trigger is tapered opposite directions. If you
Okay,
look at the base
so-
of the trigger.
So it's a
Not
patch.
that- no. The button, the little button you push down
Yeah.
on.
It's
Yeah.
So there's a hex in here. So this particular one is not that way. It's just
Okay,
a
so-
single piece.
Okay,
Yeah.
'cause
So I
the one
guess-
that I have is
Yeah. Most standard mid-range to basic airbrushes don't have that complexity on the trigger. But your model may be trying to copy on the more advanced ones.
I have an Iwata Eclipse.
This is the Eclipse.
I
But
know.
which one do you have? Do you have the HPC or the HPCR? So you
Or the
remove
DVD.
this. Again, be careful because once you remove this, I'm going to angle my
Look at the
thing.
on
Yeah,
it.
they need to be clean. I've been painting shit. Fuck off.
Bro.
Oh my
This
goodness!
This is two pieces. This
You're
piece here,
giving
you
me
have your front
PTSD,
cone.
right?
Actually, it's three
That's
pieces.
three. That's
This
a
is three.
3.5. What are you using?
I don't fucking know.
Wow.
This particular model,
That's
has
venom in his cup.
this fancy cup cone, and then there's this tip here. This can be removed. Most
Yeah,
basic
fine.
airbrushes, this is removed. Be very careful with this.
That's a
It's
symbiote in
bronze
his cup. Look at that thing.
This particular piece comes right off. So again, tear it apart with caution. Then you have your main line, which you shove pipettes into and clean the fuck out of.
You can run that straight through
This has
the
been
back.
completely assembled for cleaning. Now, obviously, this one you cannot remove the lower air valve. On some air model or airbrushes, you can. Where's my
Kyle, now
Neo?
that you've broken that down, maybe you should clean it.
I
Yeah,
should probably dip this in like soap.
Probably should clean
Now
it.
that it's broken into pieces, you should give it.
I need, and then so here's the Neo, and you can
You
actually
said-
remove the Neo.
Iwata HP CS Eclipse, and I have been using this today. I ran 3 different kinds of paint through this today. So Kyle, clean your shit.
Fuck off! It hasn't been used in like a week. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man.
So Manny sent me the link to his airbrush. So it looks like it's a Pash. Clone.
Oh, those are a little bit different on
Oh, is that a
the front
sidearm?
nozzle, but it's pretty much the same.
It's more or less the same from the back,
Yeah,
and then the front.
It's the-
front side
the
is
way
different.
the tip and the nozzle are assembled, it's much like this. You don't have to use hardware to remove it, but you can break it down even further. I hate passion nozzles. They're fucking pains
Those
in
are
the
the
ass.
first ones that I ever looked at back in the early 90s when I first was interested in airbrushing.
They're supposedly really good, but I don't like the way they are. And for an
There's-
American company, they're very limited.
There's one Pash.
One
Sorry, I'm sorry.
60 to buy one, but so go ahead.
Buy now.
No, I was talking about I'm just waxing. Go ahead, Paz. What about Pash?
Well, yeah, there's one feature on the Pash that I like is it's that when you can pull back like the back and it pulls the needle all the way out, so all of the stuff in the cup can pour out.
Yeah,
And that's one thing that none of these like high end airbrush
Yeah, I just
has anymore.
well, I think the reason for they do it is it's a better sealed structure.
Well,
so
I
you
mean,
don't have as much
without having
interference
to
leak.
unscrew anything, like without having to break anything down.
it's okay. All my fingers work, so I have no problem unscrewing things. It's easy.
This is too
Hey,
much work.
I
for me,
unscrewed
man,
shit.
okay?
I don't cut them, so it's easy.
Even all that paint is still unscrewed.
Manny, I think you should definitely buy a new airbrush.
I have my
No.
HP
So-
CS my clip set up with a .05 needle, where Kyle's is a .035 needle with the extra tip.
Yeah, mine's an 03 in this one. I only have 05 in my Neo for priming and
Right. That's what
top
I
coating.
run my clips. I run priming and
No,
clear coat and
that's
base
my
coating.
bad, guys. That Manny's having all his problems. I was
stuff.
supposed to send him the Renegade Chrome a while back, and you know what, Manny? This week I will.
Ooh, you've been blessed by Z.
So
Some Omaha
Yeah.
Steak.
Fuck
No.
yes, Manny.
yeah, man. Look
I
with
promised him the airbrush a long time ago, and I just have been lazy in sending it out. And I'll get it out this week, so you don't have.
Did you ever send Jason and Sabrina's airbrush?
Dude, I have to send out like 5 more packages still.
Yo, Omaha Steaks.
I hear
What-
they're hot.
what's going on with the Omaha Steaks?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just a running gag on the stream. Somebody, Bill was
Yeah,
talking
Julio
about.
wants some Omaha steaks.
Yeah,
It's like shit.
No, dude, you want carbs. You want carbs.
I
I also run
eat
I want a C plus.
Julio, go eat a piece of bread. It's like Prozac.
It has a backstop which sets the depth of the draw on the trigger because it's dual action. So which means that as you push down, it increases the air pressure, and as you draw back, it increases the aperture of the spraying. So it can set your back so you can draw
Let's
a
lay
nice.
off the big words. Aperture. Concave. Concordantly. Vis-a-vis.
So, Manny, you don't have to go this far, but I use a 0.3
Get the
Procon.
reference.
Procon. I can't remember which this one is.
The micro?
290, I believe this is the 290. And that has all the features that Brian just showed you. But I also use a Procon 280, which is a trigger type. This thing has all of the stuff that Brian just showed you on his airbrush, but this is obviously a leader. Yeah, it's also got a bigger cup. So this is my main primer brush.
So
Different
personally,
needle
it depends on the
for
use of the
different
airbrush.
kind of
That's about
things.
needle size.
Manny.
0.3 is
Yeah.
pretty much your good standardization until you build a collection.
Yeah.
You want at least a 0.3 millimeter and a 0.5 millimeter.
Right.
Because you can do
Yeah.
top coating and primer with 0.5 and then more minute detailing.
You know
But if you're feeling super fancy, go 0.2 with the Sotar. But it's not fucking necessary. We're not doing that kind of work with our Gunpla.
I like
Or
the
0.2.
What's the funny thing about this thing is I got
love the
this
0.2.
specifically for my wife got me this.
Oh shit, this is dirty.
specifically
too. Fuck.
specifically for the Yagid Mirage, because this thing is not even the biggest cup for this thing. Like the
Right.
biggest cup is about, I believe, this much.
Damn.
Yeah, and I definitely need this for the.
I have noticed the Sotar is amazing for low pressure applications. Like when I was doing my chroming, this was my go-to airbrush because working 12 psi with this smaller needle type had no issues. Even when dealing with a chroming with metallic flake stuff, it was great. Great control, great application. While my other airbrushes, even though they can handle like my clips or my Renegade can handle lower pressure, I felt like this was more effective the way it handled it. And I think it's because of the cone. So you're shot without using a better Brian, you probably know the more accurate term, but the spread. So you get like a fan. You know, if you have the two teeth that are like on the Renegade, you get more of a fan spread. Like this will give you more of a coned kind of application of paint, while not having that would give you more of a cylinder, circular.
Gotcha. You're talking just like basically the aperture.
Yeah.
Like
So because of that, I feel like that played into how this airbrush I feel is more effective. Now, obviously, there's probably minuscule difference. They'll
So
all work.
when you
but-
say fan, I think of it as like more of a line of spray.
Yeah, exactly, because it prevents the paint from hitting the upper and lower parts of what the circular spread
Wow.
is. Again, I don't like. You're no longer creating that kind of paint. You're creating that kind of paint.
I was just thinking that would cause like spattering and like
it's a big problem with Renegade Chromes. There, those weird tips causes paint to catch, and that causes
Yeah, now you have things getting trapped in the spray area that are going to fall off and then shoot onto your piece and shit.
right, sometimes
Yeah.
spattering, weird tip dry out, or weird
Now,
build
I don't
up.
have issues with this one, but as Chris mentioned earlier, the larger cup, sometimes limiting yourself really helps in the long run by having less paint in the mix. you get more control. You're more cognizant too, because if you have a smaller cup, you might spill some. I feel like all that kind of plays into the mentality of how you apply. But this airbrush applied chrome effectively. Like, it didn't have any issues.
Mhm.
Again, as long as you're meeting the PSI requirements and all the other fancy stuff,
So I have an
this
airflow on the
won't have too much
airbrush
issue.
and a PSI controller on my compressor. What's the best for a nice?
Open up the airflow all the way up and then control
Yeah.
it on the compressor side.
Yeah, like don't worry about the airflow valve on the airbrush. Just open it all the way up.
I
You
think
only
that
really want to
part
use
is
that
better
thing.
for no valve control.
I mean, you only really want to use that thing if you're painting very small details. Otherwise, it's just a temporary way for you to lessen your PSI without having to go all the way down and messing with your compressor.
Yeah, because you can't gauge what the number is, it's harder to build a base to know if you're ballparking around the right place.
Right.
Just the base. Thank you, Hendren. Ramazan Mubarak to you as well. Appreciate that.
Oh yes, Ramadan, dude.
Yeah, it's been Ramadan, man. Where you been?
Yeah, look at the
At home, not knowing what the hell is going on outside.
It's like, what day is it? What
I
month? Where am I?
I generally thought it was Thursday for a little while.
No,
No, can't wait.
I
Tomorrow
only
is
know it's
Friday.
Tuesday because I went to the office today.
Yeah,
Texas
6
actually.
days. But Manny, hit me up. Listen, I've got 4 brand new airbrushes, bro. Hit me up and we'll talk about what's gonna work best for you.
Receive your
Pick one you
blessing
want.
from Z.
You got some Omaha steaks though?
Bro, I got you on the steaks.
That cardboard. Yeah, you see that box behind them?
Get
Get
me,
Omaha steaks.
get me some Impossible steaks and we'll talk.
Hey.
Dude, Burger King, man. Hit that shit up.
Pep, next time I'm gonna make you come up by me. They opened Akuma's Burger up by me, and they have the Impossible Burger, but it's Akuma style Impossible. Dude, I could eat that burger all day.
Legit.
Bro, I'm
That
gonna
sounds
go up to
good,
Libertyville.
man.
Impossible burgers are really tasty. They're not exactly the most healthy thing for you, but they are
No.
tasty as
Yeah,
Oh, dude, it's so good. I don't know why.
It's so
because they're not good for you. That's
No.
why they're tasty.
At the best, I live by the philosophy
It's that
I'm here for a good
combo.
time, not a long time.
That being said, we should probably go. We're like about a half hour past the deadline. I know Tex is streaming on her stream right now.
I don't give a
so-
fuck what she's doing. We staying here.
Hey, she actually
We
streaming
hanging
tonight?
out. I miss you guys.
Yeah,
We're doing this for Julio.
Yeah, Julio
I
just
keep-
disappeared on us on Friday. I didn't hear from
Yo.
him until like today.
I got so wrecked in the back room. I gotta lay down. I can't do this. Like, yeah. I got switched to the back, and I just kept drinking and drinking. I was smoking. I was like, I gotta lay down.
Oh boy.
I'm done.
And
Pretty-
ding, 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 he's out.
I didn't
My
eat
problem
much
was-
that day.
My problem was post game at 2 a.m, and I was like, all right, when I get a chance to get a word in edgewise, I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, I'm going to bed. And then it was 2:45, and I was like,
There was a lot of talking.
I just gotta go.
There were words, man.
I think that was one of the reasons why I decided to. I'm like, I'll just be in the chat. I gotta go to bed. I gotta do other things. I don't want to get caught up in any of that.
I don't even know
Oh,
what
I
was
missed
said.
Friday completely. I was.
Manny says, parting shot. Manny says, I'm only asking all these questions because I want to make sure that I get my airbrush perfect when Z starts that perfect grade ashtray.
Oh yeah, when you start sending that out.
Yes, Trey.
Ashtray.
That project's on hold till COVID's at least calm down a little bit, man. I'm not trying to send packages across the world to get people sick and shit.
Word.
Hey, true.
Z will be patient 0 for the second wave.
Hey,
Oh,
pantsless heavy arms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got no
See
dick,
it,
man.
see it. Oh, look at them legs! I'm at my first day in the gym.
I can't wait to go back to a gym.
Cool. Well, let's wrap it up.
I canceled my gym membership right before the shit went down. So I got locked out because I had never gone and I paid for it for almost 2 years. So yeah, dedication.
I mean, I hear they have really good gym equipment now that you paid for it. Thanks to our generous donor.
Then I paid my fee, and then like a week after I paid my month, I was like, we were walking by one of them, and I was like, I'm here. now's the time. I'll do this. So I go and I talk to the
Finally
person,
used it.
and they charge me $20 to cancel my membership.
Like we're gonna get
Just-
every penny out of you.
Paid you motherfuckers $35 like a week ago, and now I gotta charge you $20 to not pay you anymore. You know what? It sounds like a deal to me.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Sold.
In the long run, it'll work out in my favor, I assure you. So this has been the Madcap KotoKai Robo-Dojo 4 Horsemen stream. We got Fifth Wheel Chris in the house. Happy to have him around.
Yeah, Chris, weren't you gonna build a 4 horseman?
I believe something was discussed but not finalized.
You should.
Listen, you need to make up your mind, Chris,
okay,
because
okay.
either because I gotta send Phil his. If you're gonna jump in, which I want you to, then I can send Phil the other one, and then there'll be 6 of us.
Yeah, somebody decide who's sending what. Do it now before we
No
leave.
deadline, and it's all for fun.
We'll figure this out. I'm just trying to figure out if I ever have the time to do anything else.
No hard
Somebody
commitments
get in his
online.
bag at
Chris,
the end.
we talked about this. When you built the Barbados, you're like, I'm not going to be able to do it. And then what did you do? You finished that shit and you submitted it. You've got plenty of time.
Well, I'll give it a good thought. There you go.
Because you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. There's no deadline.
Yeah,
You can go as crazy or as not crazy as you like.
I'll
What
give
is
it
that?
one thought.
One thought or two. We'll see.
Make it
I'll
purple.
straight build that
Make it
shit.
purple or blue. It'll be fine.
regardless, we may see Chris back next week. We may see Phil next week. Phil might supposed to get popping because he's joined in on this madcap routine. So if
We
you
need
guys
some
wanna come back-
angels to go against our demons.
yeah, you go that route too. And if anybody else wants to join in, you're also welcome to join in. We're just hashtagging 4 Horsemen Buildoff on Insta and just kind of doing this thing. So until it becomes something
Man.
greater, this is how it goes.
Do you have a Zaku warrior, Manny? Then you can join in, of course.
Exactly.
I think
He'll buy
does.
one
I
right
think he
now.
does.
Like, he'll jump right in.
I want to say Manny brought that up during one of the mechanisms that he had one.
Yep, Manny, exactly. If you've got a Zaku warrior, man, you are welcome to join the whole shebang. Everyone.
I know we had a few guys. I think like Sam L wanted to jump in.
Persistent Turtle's already making.
Yeah, Persistent Turtle wanted to jump
Yeah,
in. I think
he's still all in that. Yeah, he's all over it. And no, Brandon also. Brandon's got one. He's fucking with that too. Brandon, the Mecha Bash Box guy. If you guys know him, for the Mecha Army. Once again, this is me. This is them. You know us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.